And a very pleasant good morning and welcome to the Ford Game of the Week, the OSSAA 5A State Swim Championships from the Mitch Park YMCA Aquatic Center here in Edmond, Oklahoma. Let's now join our public address announcer, Mr. Alan Meyer.
Welcome to the Edmond School Aquatic Center, the host for the 2018 5A State Championship. At this time, we would like everyone to stand to honor our country with the singing of our national anthem. Presenting the national anthem today is Rosie Glover from Fort Gibson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Nicely done, Rosie Glover from Fort Gibson High School, as we are just about ready to begin a day of championship swimming here on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. We have the 5A State Championships, and Max McKnight joins me. Max, so glad to have you back. Here's a look at our field for the 200-yard medley relay. This is the B heat coming up.
Lane 1, we have Mount St. Mary. Lane 2, Bethany. Lane 3, Duncan. Top qualifier in the B heat, Bishop Kelly. Lane 5, Oologah. Lane 6, MacArthur. And Lane 7, Eisenhower.
All right, so we're ready to get underway. Hope everybody enjoys a great day of swimming. Class 5A first, and then we'll have 6A later in the day at 5 p.m. Racers are all set, ready to go. As you follow the action here, and they're off. Girls 200-yard medley relay. This is the B final.
Medley relay is comprised of 4 strokes, 4 individual swimmers. Lead-off leg is backstroke, as you see in the water now. They'll hand off here just in a few seconds to the breaststroke. Looks like out in lane 7, Eisenhower off to a good, comfortable early lead. Thing with these relays is the different strokes and the different strengths. Lead can swap back and forth several times. Second in was Oologah, third in was Duncan. Just like that, in the breaststroke, field has closed up quite a bit. Lane 5, Oologah has closed up. Lane 4, right behind them, Bishop Kelly. As they come back, they'll get ready to hand off to the butterfly leg of the relay.
This is the B final here, our very first race of the day. Next group of swimmers, some of them heading into the water now as we speak.
Just 1/1200th of a difference between first and second in the water here. First in was Bishop Kelly. They'd actually overtaken Eisenhower just on the last about 15 yards in. Bishop Kelly starting to stretch it out a little bit more. Eisenhower and Oologah still pretty close for second. Out there in lane 6, Lawton MacArthur starting to close up, make a race for third. Freestyle leg swimmer in the water now for Bishop Kelly. There at a 139.71, and second is Oologah with a 144.29, 145.35, third for Duncan. final leg of the relay here. Freestyle leg coming in. Going to be an easy win for Bishop Kelly. Claire Beisler brings home the win for them in the B final, followed by Ulaga. Third place will go to Duncan. They made a good last final charge. Sixth was MacArthur. Looks like Eisenhower had a bad touch, pad malfunction or something. Don't have a recorded time for them. Mount St. Mary rounds it out at 2:28.21.
That is the B final. We're coming up now next on the A final as we get ready for that. What about the difference in scoring the B final versus the A final, Max?
The individual events start at 20. The relay events are doubled, so the winner of the A final will get 40 points for winning that event. I think it's a 6-point drop for second in that event.
All right, so the first heat of the day has been complete. That'll bring up the parade of the A final. In the girls' 200-yard medley relay. In lane 1, it'll be Altus. In lane 2, it'll be Shawnee. Carl Albert will be in 3. Stillwater in 4. Booker T. Washington 5. Then Deer Creek, Metro, and Fort Gibson. That rounds out the A final coming up in the 5A girls 200-yard medley relay state championship day here. This is what they've been working for all year, all season, and off-season long, getting ready for this day.
Yeah, this is a great part of this meet where they parade the athletes in. Get to hear their walk-in music. A lot of excitement, especially in the relays for the individual members, but the excitement is multiplied by 4.
So the fastest time of the qualifiers was Stillwater. The time of 1:52.47. That really, they distanced themselves pretty well from the rest of the field.
They did. They set this record yesterday. If I know Coach Goebel, he's got them revved up, and they're going to make a run at resetting that state record again today.
All right, girls are in the water. We're about ready to swim the A final in this girls 200-yard medley relay. All lined up, ready to go. They take their mark, and we are underway.
Have Detweiler leading off for Altus, Webb for Shawnee, Nemechek for Carl Albert, Dewey Blos leading off for Stillwater. That's a name we'll hear a lot today. Look for her to potentially win some individual championships throughout the morning. Mackenzie Martin for Booker T, Studner for Metro, and Porterfield for Fort Gibson. As expected, Stillwater touches first, 25.73. That's a good lead-off backstroke for Dewey. Second in, Carl Albert. Third in, Booker T. Really expect Booker T, Stillwater to duke it out for the overall team championship as the day goes on. Have Raylene Tree in for Stillwater, Tori Orcutt in for Booker T. Booker T has edged out. They're going to touch first as we make the transition into the butterfly. 59.71 for Booker T. One flat 56 for Stillwater. In third, Carl Albert with a 103.29. At the turn, looked like Stillwater may have out-touched him a little bit, retaken the lead. Have Savannah Barth, that's another name we'll probably hear throughout the day in some individual events. Looks like she's going to bring it in with maybe a half a body length lead. Stillwater retakes with a 126.87. Booker T, 128.11. 130.45 for Carl Albert. Marcia Shaw with Stillwater maintains her lead, but closing real quick on the outside is Emma Latta. Marcia's going to put her head down, keep her head down this last 15 in. Touches first with a 151.09 to set the state record for Stillwater again. Second place, Booker T. Washington, a 152.76. Carl Albert, 157.52. Two flat 17, Deer Creek in fourth. Rounding out the top 5 will be Shawnee with a 2:02.21.
There's a look at the official scoreboard here at the Edmond Schools Aquatic Center. 5A state championship. New state record is what I just heard from the public address announcer. All right, so we will move from there now to the boys 200-yard medley relay. There's a look at some of the times that have already been posted. A look at the record held by the Altus swimmers back in 2016. And we should be ready to go here as we take a look at the field. Just these 5 schools swimming in this B final. Points, got to get points.
I'm not entirely sure I have the right information here. Looking at the heat sheet, in lane 2 we have Tulsa Memorial, lane 3 Bethany, lane 4 McGinnis, lane 5 Mount St. Mary, and lane 6 MacArthur. Have updated the information here now, and that is accurate lineup. The scoreboard showed a little something different there for just a second. But out to an early lead in lane 5 is Mount St. Mary here in the B final of the boys 200 medley relay. Breaststrokers take the water. Looks like lane 3 Bethany closing up a little bit on the breaststroke leg. Also in lane 4 have Bishop McGinnis. They've closed up a little bit. Looks like it's a 3-way race as Bethany and McGinnis. Just a real close race for second. Mount St. Mary does touch first. Having a little bit of scoreboard issues here. Sorry I'm not being able to provide the splits just yet. Mount St. Mary's, as they come back to final 25 on the butterfly leg. Mount St. Mary in first, McGinnis second, Bethany in third. So McGinnis making a hard charge here on the fly. We're going to see what their freestylers can do here. Enter the water almost as one. McGinnis closed up that distance on the pull out. As they turn on the far end. Did look like McGinnis had just a slight lead. As they come down the home stretch, just neck and neck. These guys are really racing hard. Both have their head down. Probably not going to take a breath this final leg in. It is Bishop McGinnis first, Mount St. Mary in second, Bethany in third.
Minute 51.09. Here's a look at how they finished. McGinnis swam 152.54 yesterday, so they bettered that mark by some, and Mount St. Mary was 155.14, and they certainly did themselves a little better in this event here. So that's the B final, and that'll take us to the A final. Meantime, all the guys and gals with the computers and calculators are adding all the scores up and the tallies. That'll culminate in a state championship by the day's end.
I think the spectators and people listening at home would be really surprised at the amount of electronics involved in this process. Out on the starting blocks, we have relay takeoff pads, we have touch pads, there's backup buttons, all that feeding into one spot. Just takes one malfunction there to kind of throw everything into chaos. So I think they've got that all sorted out, so hopefully we'll be able to get some splits throughout this A final.
All right, here come the A final swimmers. In lane 1, it'll be Carl Albert, followed up by Deer Creek. You see the parade of swimmers going right in front of your eyes. Fort Gibson in 3, Stillwater's in 4. Then it's Altus in lane 5, Booker T. Washington in 6, Ponca City in 7, and Hera in 8. And just looking at the numbers from yesterday, Max, it looked like Stillwater was just about 4 or 5 seconds faster than everybody else. That's a pretty good spread.
That is a pretty good spread in a 200. Stillwater has some really good stroke specialists in this event. State record set a couple of years ago by Altus Bulldogs with a 139.91. Stillwater probably has the horsepower to go out and get this done today, but they're all going to have to swim probably a personal best time to make that happen. We'll watch and see if it shakes out for them. Backstroker's getting in the water now.
This is the boys' 200-yard medley relay. This is the A final. After this, we'll be going to a timeout and then continue the rest of the day's proceedings.
Everybody at home knows backstrokers start in the water. Must swim the entire race on their back. They are allowed to swim underwater for the first 15 meters after the start and after each turn. Most of them get up well before that, start trying to catch some water and making good progress on the surface of the water. Turn over to the breaststroke leg. Stillwater is in first as expected with a 25.87. Altus real close behind with a 27.17. Little outside smoke down here in lane 2 by Deer Creek with a 27.41. Breaststroke a lot of times is kind of a great equalizer. You notice Stillwater out to a comfortable lead as expected, but you look down through, they come to the butterfly leg. 3 or 4 of them touch probably within a second. Stillwater first with a 53.76, 56.32 for Fort Gibson. Deer Creek 56.5. Out in lane 7, 57.06 was Ponca City. Stillwater's Ryan Clark comes in, hand over to the freestyle leg, have Jackson Tidlin, real good sprint freestyler. We'll see what he can turn this final 50 in. They touched at a 1:17.8. 22-second 50. That's well within his range. He could have this record. We're watching. Got his head down, really grabbing some water, kicking his legs. He's going to be able to do it. Just missed it. 1:40.56. It's a little over half a second away from that state record, but Stillwater does bring home the state championship. The men's 200 medley relay. Second was Deer Creek closing up out in lane 2 with a 1:44.67. Booker T. Washington with a 1:45.23 rounds out the top 3.
All right, we'll take a timeout and continue our coverage on the Ford Game of the Week, the 5A State Swimming Championship, when we return.
It's the one and only Ford Truck Month, the place to find one-of-a-kind deals on Ford F-Series, including Motor Trend's Truck of the Year F-150. With best-in-class towing and torque, these bad boys make the rules and break them. That's why it's America's best-selling truck 41 years straight. But like ribs at a barbecue, these deals won't last long. Ford Truck Month. It's buy now time, partner. Now during Truck Month, get up to $11,000 in total savings on the 2018 F-150. Only at your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Cox has all my entertainment in one place. Using the Contour voice remote with direct access to Netflix, I can easily navigate my kingdom. Just say, The Crown.
Take the Cox Challenge. Cox has the Contour TV voice remote with easy access to Netflix and the top 100 primetime TV shows free on demand.
I think it's clear who holds the crown for entertainment. Go online and take the Cox Challenge today.
The Cox High School Hub has been your online source for live coverage of the Ford Game of the Week. Great photos and spectacular highlights. We've brought you the best in Oklahoma high school sports. Now the Hub has teamed up with YurView.com. Go to YurView.com/CoxHSHub and you'll find more live games from around the nation. More stories, photos, highlights, and more of the Ford Game of the Week. Catch it all at its new home on YurView.com. Brought to you by Ford, the best in Oklahoma.
Addiction is an epidemic in America. If you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, you need to call the R360 Network now.
I'm Ken Seeley, author, addiction recovery specialist, and former addict. R360 is a nationwide network of addiction recovery specialists that I personally selected and recommend.
The call is free, the consultation is free. If you have private insurance, your treatment could be covered with no out-of-pocket cost.
Call 800-692-6045.
You're watching the 5A State Swim Championships here on the Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. We have 5A for the morning session, and of course, coming up later this evening at 5 p.m., it will be the 6A. It's a day full of swimming, and it's right here on the Ford Game of the Week. We'll continue our coverage and come back with more for you right after this timeout.
It's Ford Truck Month at your Oklahoma Ford dealers. Our biggest sales event of the year. Now's the time to save on our full line of Ford trucks and Ford SUVs, America's most trusted brand. Save big on Escape, Edge, and Explorer, and the redesigned Expedition. A huge selection, the best offers. Now, current Ford owners get 0 for 60 plus $1,500 cash on Explorer when financed through Ford Credit. Hurry into your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
I need some serious internet.
We have speeds from 10 megs to 10 gigs.
But I have locations all over the city.
No problem. Cox Business delivers consistently fast internet, no matter your location.
What about here?
Yep.
Here?
Of course, here. That's a river. Exit ramp, tree. That's the penguin house at the zoo. But sure.
You're good. He's good. He's good. I'm good.
The Cox High School Hub has been your online source for live coverage of the Ford Game of the Week. Great photos and spectacular highlights. We've brought you the best in Oklahoma high school sports. Now the Hub has teamed up with YurView.com. Go to YurView.com/CoxHSHub and you'll find more live games from around the nation. More stories, photos, highlights, and more of the Ford Game of the Week. Catch it all at its new home on YurView.com. Brought to you by Ford, the best in Oklahoma.
Today, the world is rushing toward a new financial order, or should I say, disorder? Hi, neighbor. Pat Boone here. Are cyber attacks and cyber currencies the shape of things to come? Think you better find out what's coming next. Get a free copy of Swiss America's latest report, Is Bitcoin the Future of Money? And it's free by calling the number on your screen. Maybe you better get up to speed now on what to expect next. Get ready for the new financial order.
Cox.com/learn.
Welcome back to the Ford Game of the Week, the 5A State Swimming Championships here from Mitch Park, YMCA Aquatic Center in Edmond, Oklahoma. We've already run the first two events, the girls 200-yard medley and the boys 200 medley. Now it's time for the girls 200-yard freestyle. This is the B final, Max.
Looking for a great race here. Have Barunda from Stillwater in lane 1, Johnson from Ada in lane 2, Shemp from Hera in lane 3, Peraza from Booker T. Washington in 4, Barrett from Ponca City in lane 5, Lowe from Altus in 6, Moore from Noble in 7, rounding out this field, Hess from Fort Gibson. It's one of my favorite races of the day. Long sprint. Like to see these 200 freestylers get out there. Look and see who's kicking their feet early. A lot of these swimmers realize that if you want to have anything left in the tank at the end, you got to you got to be breathing throughout this race too. You can't swim that first 50 without a breath. If you want those legs to have that now, or have that kick later in the race, you got to be giving them air now. Out in lane 4. Peraza from Booker T out to an early lead as qualifier. She was a 2:13.64. Barrett from Ponca City in 5 was just 200ths behind her. Have to see how these young ladies back half this race. Halfway through, we have Peraza from Booker T with a 1 flat 90. Barrett, Ponca City with a 1:03.43.
Start giving you team totals and standings as it becomes more readily available. Of course, folks here at the OSSAA and the swim officials do a great job at this event.
They really do. Meets like this run with a lot of volunteers. Officials, there's a lot of timers. All the timers are volunteers, so everybody contributes to make it a great meet. Peraza really stretched out her lead here. She had a little over a 3-second lead there at the turn into the last 50. So they bring it back here. Barrett from Ponca City really turning on the Jets here, really closed up a lot in this last 50. They come down the final, pass under the backstroke flags with about 5 meters left to go. It is going to be Peraza from Booker T with a 2:11.58. Just edged her out by 42 hundredths. Barrett from Ponca City in second. Lowe from Altus in third. Don't overlook out here in lane 1, Barunda from Stillwater. Really moved up her placings, came in 7th, brought home a 4th place finish. That's what you need to look for throughout this race. Who qualifies a little lower, who moves up to score some points.
So 2:11.58 was her time, and she bettered her mark from the earlier prelim at 2:13.64. So that's the girls' 200-yard freestyle, and now we move to event number 4. That's the boys' 200-yard freestyle. This is the B final. And here comes the parade A final girls. Coming up now, this is the fastest of the fast from the preliminaries that were held yesterday. So this is the girls A 200-yard freestyle finals.
Have Kirkland from Bishop Kelly in lane 1, Lorenzo from McGinnis in 2, Brock, Booker T. Washington in 3. We are looking at some faulty information.
Yeah,
this is the boys' 3.
Yeah.
Let me get the other. We got Martin from Booker T in 1, Freudenberger from Stillwater in 2, Sheffield from Tuttle in 3, Barth from Stillwater in 4, Packard from Metro Christian in 5, Mink from Bishop Kelly in 6, Tidland from Stillwater in 7, Norcutt from Booker T. Washington in 8. If you look down through there, Steve, you notice that Stillwater has a couple of swimmers in there, 3 actually. Booker T has a couple. I think we're going to see throughout the day that Stillwater and Booker T, this could be a nip and tuck race for the team championship.
Barth was the only swimmer to get under 2 minutes in the prelims, so she has to be your favorite there in lane 4.
She is the favorite here, and she does touch first with a 25.99, followed by Packard from MacArthur in 26.40. Rounding out the top 3 was Mink from Bishop Kelly. Packard closed up a little bit here. It's going to be a little closer here at the halfway touch as they turn. Barth just a very slight lead, 54.56 to a 54.89. A couple of seconds behind is Mink from Bishop Kelly with a 56.99. Sheffield from Tuttle with a 58 flat. As they turn here, about halfway back to the 150. Looks like Packard's edged out to a little bit of a lead. She's going to touch first here as they make the turn for the final 50 with a 1:24.17 to Barth's 1:24.48. We're at the point of the race here, Steve. We're going to kind of see who wants this the worst. They're both going to make this final turn for home, get their head down, put their legs into it. Got a really good race going here. Packard has edged out to a little bit of a lead, going to win this event by about a body length with a 1:53.33, 1:54.46 for Packard, 1:58.70 with Mink bringing home the bronze. Those top 3 ladies for sure bettered their entry time from yesterday.
Yeah, Packard by more than 8 seconds better, so saving her best for the last and a state championship in the girls 200-yard freestyle as you take a look at the final placings and the times for the girls. All right, next up, it's the boys 200-yard freestyle. This is the B final. Fastest time in the prelims. Had a pretty tight little group here, Max. It looks like Brock Lawrence from Carl Albert at 1:56.40 was the fastest time.
Yes, Steve. Brock Lawrence there in lane 4, as you mentioned, 1:56.4. Just missed out by a couple of tenths qualifying for that A final, so I'm sure he's out to prove something a little bit today. Run down through the entire lineup here. Kirkland from Bishop Kelly in 1, Lorenzo from Bishop McGinnis in 2. Brock from Booker T. Washington in 3. Lawrence, as we've already mentioned, from Carl Albert. Lorette from Ponca City in 5. Wallace from Booker T in 6. Morris from Shawnee in 7. Rounding out the field in lane 8, Hoyt from Edison Prep. These guys are neck and neck. Looks like the top 3. Brock, Lawrence, and Lorette turned at the 75, just neck and neck. Don't want to overlook out in lane 7. Morris is out there right up with this lead pack. These guys are all probably the top 6 are going to turn within a second. Lorette does touch first with a 55.31. 55.95 is 5th for Lorenzo, so 0.6 of a second separates the top 5. Don't have to add just a couple of hundredths. You had Morris in 6th. Guys, their legs are starting to tighten up a little bit. Lungs are really starting to burn. These guys touch at the 150. Lorette has stretched his lead a little bit, 125.22 to Lawrence's 126 flat. Brock continues to hold down third with a 126.45. Lorenzo is still a factor in this thing with a 126.74. Lorette touches first at the 175 wall. If he can maintain the last half of the pool, he's going to bring home the win. It's really going to be anybody's race here for second. Which one of these guys wants second the worst? Lorette wins with a 155.17. Brock edges out for second, 156.71 to a 156.84 for Lawrence. Wallace in 6th with a 157.12. Lorenzo in 2 with a 157.69 round out the top 5.
Pretty close finish there.
Great race there for these young men.
Event number 4 is the boys 200-yard freestyle. This is the A final that is coming up. And I look back and see that the state record was set last year by Patrick Callan from Bishop Kelly as he went 140.81.
Patrick's younger brother Jack, top qualifier in this race. We'll be seeing Patrick later on this morning in the 50 and the 100 freestyle.
There's a look at your field.
Have White from Deer Creek in lane 1, Cox from Newcastle in 2, Clark from Stillwater in 3, Jack Callan, as we mentioned, with a 146.52 is the top qualifier in 4, Sam Duda from Bishop Kelly in 5, Wynn from Muskogee in 6, Hunt from Bishop Kelly in 7, and Hayes from Fort Gibson in lane 8.
Should be another good one. The boys 200-yard freestyle.
Steve, from where we sat, looked like a good clean start from these young men. A little bit of a spread, a little over a second between Callan and Duda as 1-2 qualifiers. The qualifying heats are done in what they call a circle seeded fashion. So the top qualifier coming in swims in the last heat, the second fast in the heat before that, and the third fast, and so on as they come along. So these guys didn't go head to head yesterday. Here we'll see a little tougher competition, or a little more even competition, I should say. We'll see who really gets their head down and makes a race of this. We come back for the 100 split, halfway point. Callan is out to the lead, 50.39. Ryan Clark from Stillwater, 51.09. Sam Duda from Bishop Kelly in lane 5 with a 52.34.
Big race for Bishop Kelly here with 3 swimmers in this final.
Out in lane 6, it looks like Wynn from Muskogee's coming up, making a race for third for this. Callan makes the turn for the final 50 at 1:16.80. Clark from Stillwater, 1:18.85. Wynn from Muskogee, as I mentioned, with a 1:20.37, but right behind him with a 1:20.64 was Duda from Bishop Kelly. Bishop Kelly really is going to stack some points, as you mentioned, Steve, with their 3 swimmers in here against Stillwater's 1. Callan does bring home the win, 1:44.08. Ryan Clark brings home second with a 146.69. Sam Buda had a great final 50 to reclaim third, 148.31, with Wynn right behind him with a 148.54.
So Callan goes better than 2 seconds faster than his preliminary final, and so that is another title there for Bishop Kelly. Jack Callan swimming them in as the champion there. Throughout the day's proceedings, we'll stop the swimming and have awards presentations. And I believe we'll be having that coming up here very soon. In the meantime, as you look at the great facility here, built just a couple of years ago in Edmond at Mitch Park, the Aquatic Center. They've done a great job in hosting these swim championships in the alternate years.
Now we'll be doing the awards for the 200 medley relays.
Let's join our public address announcer once again, Alan Meyer, for the presentation of the awards throughout the first couple of races.
For event one, the girls 200-yard medley relay. 8th place, Fort Gibson. Seventh place, Altus. 6th place, Metro Christian. 5th place, Shawnee. 4th place, Deer Creek. 3rd place, Carl Albert. 2nd place, Booker T. Washington. 1st place with a time of 1:51.09, a new state record for Stillwater.
All right, there's a happy group of youngsters as they all have big smiles on their faces, and well, they should, as some of the top finishers through some of the events that we had today. Girls 200-yard medley relay. I think I heard him say new state record for Stillwater, right?
State record for Stillwater. We expected that might happen. It was good to see that they did.
All right, that'll take us to event number 5, and that is girls 200-yard IM is coming up. State record here. Probably more fitting for the final. This is the B final that is coming up, but Hannah Newby from Bishop McGuinness holds that record at 2:04.98. Set that back 2 years ago.
6th
so
place,
they parade their way
City.
into the swimming area. We're excited to bring you all the action here today. Your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week.
5th place, Altus. 4th place, Fort Gibson. 3rd place, Booker T. Washington. 2nd place, Deer Creek. 1st place with a time of 1:40.56, Stillwater High School.
And once again, you can see a happy group of youngsters. They all have their get-ups that they like to have, whether they're coloring their hair or wearing coonskin caps, and it's a fun day to be part of all this here. And the crowd, they're, of course, enjoying it as well.
Oh, there's Stillwater crowd celebrating their championship team.
I've done some research work and found that in the last 8 years, or since 2010, 7 schools have won 26 of the 32 state championships in 5 and 6A swimming. You have Stillwater with 3 girls titles and 1 boys title. Fort Gibson also has 4, Norman North and Jenks and Edmond North as well. Time now for the 200-yard IM. And a look at the field there shows you that Juliana Arndt will be in lane 1. Lauren Grind and Shawnee in 2. Hargis from Altus, lane 3. Then Tresh and Bruin from Booker T. Washington, followed by Davis from Deer Creek, Grimes from Hera, and Woodruff from Carl Albert.
Individual medley. Each swimmer will swim a 50, 2 lengths of each stroke. A little different order in the IM than in the medley relay. The swimmers, as you see, first 50 is butterfly. They'll transition from the butterfly into the backstroke. From backstroke, they'll transition into the breaststroke. The final 50 is the freestyle. As you watch these butterflyers come in, something the officials are looking for is that the swimmers have a 2-handed simultaneous touch. As they come off the wall, they ensure that the swimmer is at least past vertical towards the back. Feet, they have to be towards the back when their feet leave the wall. Touching first after the butterfly leg was Grind from Shawnee. Have to see is, again, not unlike the medley relay. The lead can kind of come and go in this event, depending on the individual swimmers' individual strengths. As you can see here in the backstroke, Tresh from Booker T has taken the lead with a 1:10.32. But just right on her heels was Hargis from Altus with a 1:10.70. Lane 2, Grind from Shawnee held on to the 3rd spot with a 1:12.93. So the breaststrokers worked their way down through the pool. Seems like it's tightened up a little bit maybe as they turn off of that 25 to head for the back half of the breaststroke leg. Again, as these breaststrokers come in, the officials are looking to be sure it is a stroke and kick cycle. Similar to the butterfly, they have to have a 2-hand simultaneous touch. When their feet leave the wall, they have to be vertical towards the breast so as not to replicate part of the backstroke. Tresh held on to the lead with a 1:54.72, 1:57.26 for Hargis, and in 3rd, Bruin had moved up into 3rd. These young ladies make the final turn for home. Tresh has a good solid lead for Booker T. She's going to win by 2 or 3 body lengths as she comes in to take first place in the B final with a 2:30.58. Hargis in 2nd with a 2:34.05. Grind closed back up to finish 3rd with a 2:35.59. Bruin from Booker T 4th with a 2:36.44. So Booker T scoring a lot of points in that. Stillwater had 1 in that final. Get ready for the A final. Do a count on how many of those teams have in this A final.
So again, your winner in the B final, bettering her mark from yesterday by nearly 2 seconds. And now you see the parade coming forth for the A final. And again, a lot of the same schools. Stillwater with looks like 3 entrants in this one, so they are going to be piling up more points here. Booker T. Washington, Bridge Creek, Shawnee, the rest of the field. Here's a look at your lineups.
It's going to be a great race, fun race to watch. Hope everybody's tuned in here. Hannah Newby in lane 4 was the fast qualifier with a 2:05.69. Hannah does have the state record with a 2:04.98. Have to see if she makes a run at that record this morning. Have Hill from Stillwater in 1, Cervantes from Shawnee in 2, Carroll from Bridge Creek in 3, Newby, Bishop McGinnis in 4, Orcutt, Booker T. Washington in 5, Smith with Stillwater in 6, Sims from Bishop Kelly in 7, Tree from Stillwater in lane 8.
All right, this is the A final of the girls 200-yard IM. All set to go. Swimmers take their marks.
Hope the people listening in, watching in, can hear the crowd activity in here, the excitement that's in this facility. The swimmers get their instructions through a series of swissels in the, when they're to step up on the blocks. There's a series of short whistles that lets them know to be ready. One long whistle, they know it's time to step up onto the block. Had a couple of, the crowd noise can get so much, people may have seen that some of them were a little slow. Sometimes the crowd noise even overtakes those whistles. So officials here want to give everybody a fair start, give them a little time to get up and get ready to go. As expected, Newby out to an early lead. Had 11 seconds on the second qualifier in this. Just all-around great swimmer. She comes back to halfway point, finishing the backstroke with a 57.75. Lane 5, Orcutt from Booker T. Washington in second with a 1:02.65. Cecilia Smith in lane 6 with a 1:04.85 round out the top 3.
Newby just a junior. As Max said, she already holds the state record, and she'll look to better that mark once again, 2:04.98.
She has really strong breaststroke legs. You see here, she does that simultaneous two-hand touch, makes the turn to the freestyle. A couple of good quick dolphin kicks, like to see that. She's on her underwaters. She hits the surface of the water, really kicking hard, grabbing a lot of water with each stroke. Turns for that final 25. To have Orcutt held on to second. Smith continues in third with Carroll from Bridge Creek right behind in fourth. Newby finishes with a 1:02.24. Just kind of demolishes her old record by over 2 seconds. Great swim by Hannah. Great smile on her face this morning. Great to see. Orcutt, Booker T. Washington, second, 2:12.72. Cecilia Smith in third with a 2:20.13.
2:02.24 for Hannah Newby. That erases her old state record as you take a look at those finals once again, and she got out in front early and never looked back.
She never looked back. Great swim from her. We'll see her again later on in the day in an individual event. Trying to look ahead here. I think she has the individual breaststroke later in the day as well. Yes, that's correct. She'll probably, she set that record yesterday and probably try to make a run at resetting that record today too.
All right, that takes us now to the boys 200-yard individual medley. And there's a look at your field, Max, once again. As you always remind everybody, you look for those swimmers there in the middle, 4 and 5, 3, to be the ones who usually end up winning these races.
Based on yesterday's qualifying, the fast swimmer is always in lane 4. So 4, 5, 3, 6, 2, 7, 1, 8 is how it seeds out for each of these events. But every now and then you get the little outlier that we'll just have to see. Looks like in lane 7 it's going to be Sam Johnson that touches first after the fly. Have to see how this race shakes out and if he can maintain that lead. In second was Fortin from McGinnis in second, and in third was Carpenter from Hara in third. Rest of the field, Annette from Deer Creek in 1, Polinger from Booker T in 2, Carpenter, Hara, Hunt from Bishop Kelly in 4, Fortin from Bishop McGinnis in 5, Stockstill, Booker T in 6, Johnson from Deer Creek in 7, Arndt, Stillwater in 8, Johnson maintaining that lead with a 59.57. In second, Fortin from McGinnis with a 1:flat.92, and Carpenter from Hara in lane 3 in third with a 1:01.28. Good to see. Johnson, breaststroke, still maintains a little bit of a lead. Wonder if he wasn't very satisfied with yesterday's swim, wanted maybe send a little bit of a message to those A finalists that he should have been there too, but part of the state swim meet is getting it done in prelims, so you have that opportunity. But Johnson does maintain his lead, 1:39.12. Fortin maintained second with a 1:40.66. Carpenter held on to third with a 1:40.88. So these guys turn for the final 25. Seems like it's tightened up a little bit with Fortin closing in on him a little bit. These guys have got their head down, they're putting their feet into it. Probably take one less breath here as they pass under the flag. Who's going to be? Looks like Johnson's going to hold on for the win with a 2:09.17. Fortin with a 2:09.38, just 21 hundredths behind. Hunt close in that last freestyle leg with a and finished with a 2:12.41. Carpenter finished in fourth with a 2:14.39. Great race there from those guys. Good to see Johnson get out from lane 7, win this race start to finish.
Great effort there, as you see your winners and the placings and the times. The fastest preliminary time was 2:11.64, so a lot of guys really stepped up their game in that class in the B final. That'll bring us now to the A final in the boys 200-yard individual medley. And right there, always looking in lane 4, Dylan McLean from Claremore, junior. His time yesterday was 2 minutes flat 52 seconds, or 2 minutes and 52 hundredths of a second.
Look up here on our information. Patrick Callan does hold the state record in this event with a 1:51.44. No disrespect to any of the swimmers, but that's a pretty big reach. Callan, we'll see him in the next event, the men's 53. So do look for a good race here. Not far behind McLean was James from Booker T with a 2:01.67. Run down through the top qualifiers. The rest of the qualifiers, Huang from Bishop Kelly will be in lane 1. Danny Sibley from Metro Christian in 2. Aaron Hill from Stillwater in 3. Dylan McLean in 4 from Claremore. Noah James from Booker T. Washington in 5. Sam Carter from Fort Gibson in 6. Caleb Putnam from Carl Albert. And then in lane 8, Jacob Christian. See 2 pioneers in there from Stillwater. Booker T has 1. Bishop Kelly has 1. I think those are just the names we're going to hear all day. The schools, they make a run for a state championship. Good tight race in the fly from our top 2 qualifiers here in 4 and 5. McLean does touch first with a 25.56, only 2/10 behind was James with a 25.76. 26.62, Aaron Hill from Stillwater in 3rd. As McLean continues to spin his arms here on the backstroke leg to come into the transition to the butterfly. He touches first with a 54.01. James holding on to second with a 55.95. Danny Sibley made a charge over here in lane 2, closest to our position, with a 58.85. Know the people in the stands, not unlike us, you kind of get so close to the action, you can kind of tend to not see what's going on in the lanes here nearest. So hope the people here watching live will keep an eye on lane 1 and 2. Sometimes you get some prizes in these outside lanes. McLean maintains his lead with a 1:28.93. Has stretched that out a little bit to a 1:31.24 for James, 1:34.40 for Aaron Hill in 3rd. Freestylers make the turn. Dylan McLean will win this race comfortably with a 1:58.07. Coming in second, 2:01.28. Noah James from Booker T. Washington. Danny Sibley continued his charge down here in lane 2 from Lawton Mack with a 2:05.01.
So there's a look at the results, the times for the A final in the boys 200-yard individual medley. That will move us next into event number 7. And all getting ready for the B final. This is the girls 50-yard free coming up next.
I want to apologize to Danny Sibley. I'm getting my acronyms mixed up. Danny Sibley brought home 3rd. He's with Metro Christian.
Gotcha. Well, a great venue. You get to the month of February, really call it championship month, as both of the wrestling and then, of course, the swim championships that we have here, and that'll take us into basketball. Got some awards that are becoming your way, so let's join our public address announcer once again, Mr. Alan Meyer.
6th, Freudenberger from Stillwater. 5th, Sheffield from Tuttle. 4th, Martin Booker T. Washington. 3rd, Mink Bishop Kelly. 2, Barth Stillwater. 1st place with a time of 1:53.33 from Metro Christian, Isabel Packard.
Great to see the expression of all these swimmers' faces when they make that.
And now for event 4, the boys 200-yard freestyle. 8th place, Cox, Newcastle. 7th, Hayes, Fort Gibson. 6th, Hunt, Bishop Kelly. 5th, White, Deer Creek. 4th, Wynn, Muskogee. 3rd, Duda, Bishop Kelly. 2nd, Clark, Stillwater. 1st place with a time of 1:44.08 from Bishop Kelly, Jack Callan.
All right, there is the awards presentation. You can see a very proud young man up there, cherishing what he has accomplished. And of course, Jack Callan, who was your winner in the boys 200-yard freestyle.
We've talked about him before, and we'll see Jack again later today in another individual event. His brother's coming up here pretty quick in the men's 50 free. As we step the B final, girls 50 free up. This one's over quick. Warner in 1, Dyer in 2, Porterfield in 3, Warner in 4, Bivens in 5, Scott in 6, Farmer in 7, Throgmorton in 8. Apologize for not being able to get their schools in, but as we mentioned, these things, if you blink, you miss them. It's going to last about 27 seconds as they make the turn. These young ladies are really churning down through here. Looks like Warner in 4. They have a slight lead, but it's going to be close between her and lane 7. Warner does hold on for the win with a 27-10, 27-12, just 0.02 of a difference is Farmer for second. 500ths behind that is Sarah Scott with a 27.17 and a 27.2. Rounds out the top 4 for Dyer from Muskogee. Look down through there. 27.10 won that race. 27.66 was 8th. So a little over half a second was the difference.
And here comes your finalists for the girls' 50-yard freestyle. It would be the equivalent of the 100-meter dash in Olympic parlance. As you mentioned, that last event, everybody that was in that preliminary final swam within the 27-second barrier, and you don't see much of a difference here in these championship finals coming up.
It's not a lot of fast young ladies in this event too. We do have Marcia Shaw from Stillwater as the top qualifier with a 24.52. Also have Myers from Booker T in 1, Shaw from Carl Albert in 2, Hooper from Stillwater in 3, Shaw from Stillwater in 4, Ladder from Booker T in 5, Wortman from Piedmont in 6, Webb from Shawnee in 7, and Harper from Duncan in 8.
State record Chelsea Yee of class and SAS swam it in 23.75 back in 2011.
Chelsea Yee was a great swimmer, went on and had a great career swimming for Duke. Has a record here that's probably going to be a little tough to get to today. But as these young ladies race down through here at the 25, come up, some of them grabbed a quick breath, but they all have their head down now. Grab one last breath as they pass under the flag. Is going to be Shaw from Stillwater in 1 with a 24.4. 24.78. Latta from Booker T. Washington in 2nd. 24.96 for Hooper in 3rd. And Wortman from Piedmont with a 25.29 brings home 4th.
So Marcia Shaw, just a freshman from Stillwater, as they continue to load and reload as far as swimming championships are concerned. They've been one of the best throughout the many years.
Yes.
Time now for the boys' B final. This is the 50-yard freestyle once again. The state record here held by somebody named McKnight from Chickasha back in 2011. 21:11 was his time.
Yes, I'm familiar with that young man. Talk a little about him and a little about Callan here in just a second as we get this B final in the water. De La Paz from Altus in 1, Rader in 2, Ogden in 3, Serrano Menace in 4, Hughes in 5, Wynn in 6, Palmer in 7, and Hill in 8. Several 23s in this, a couple of low 24s as these guys make the turn, head under the flags. Steve, this one's too close for me to call. I'll make a stab and say 6. Was Caleb Wynn in lane 6 from Muskogee with a 23.03. Bettered his time by a couple of tenths from yesterday. Serrano Meneses from Bishop Kelly was 2nd, and then Hughes rounded out the top 3 there. Did talk to Isaac yesterday, exchanged a few texts, told him this was probably the year that his state records fall. Patrick did take one of those yesterday in the 100 free. Here in the 50, he came real close. I expect this to go down as well this morning. I expressed this to Patrick yesterday. Isaac wished him luck. Says if you're going to break it, shatter it. So he'd like to really see him take this down. Great young man, great family. Enjoyed visiting with him. Wish him all the best in this race. Rounding out the other qualifiers, Holtscher from Booker T in 1, Landon Clark in 2, Burdick from Ponca City in 3, Callan, as we've mentioned, in 4 with a 21.5, McGuire from Bridge Creek, Hubbard from Altus in 6, Plumley from Hera in 7, Ponca City, Meyer in 8. Look out there at Patrick. He's got on one of the high-tech suits, as all these young men do. They are starting to make those in patterns. Now, we don't have a touch pad at the far end, but looking down through there, probably expecting Patrick to make the turn in 9 or 10 seconds. We watch him. He's off to a good, clean start. Great underwaters, comes up. Look at his arms go. Got his legs into it. Makes the turn. Hard to tell. Looks like about a 10 flat. Got his head down, really stroking hard. Look at that. I hope people at home are watching this. It's just A great swim by this young man. He gets in here, touches in a 20.78, does set the state record with that time. In second, we have McGuire from Bridge Creek with a 21.74, 21.93 from Burdick from Ponca City.
20.78, a new state record for Patrick Callan. We have much more coming your way on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. The 5A State Swim Championships continue when we return.
Okay, it's Ford Truck Month, and here's how it works. You take F-150 Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, work in best-in-class towing and payload, sweeten up the offer, and boom. Look who just saved a stack of cash. Step on it, sport. Drive home America's best-selling truck 41 years straight. Ford Truck Month is here. It's buy now time, people. Now during Truck Month, get up to $11,000 in total savings on the 2018 F-150. Only at your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
You going?
What's with the blanket?
It's chilly downstairs.
Well, I can fix that. Lights stay on. All right, that's the end of that.
No, honey, they're fine.
Okie dokie. Trevor, let me get that door for you, big guy.
The movie isn't even over
She's a
yet.
spy. He ends up dying. Love this Cox Home Life app.
Get Cox Home Life starting at just $29.99 a month. Ask about a free indoor camera.
Need relief from backaches and stiffness in your hips or down your legs? Then you need Dr. Ho's Back Relief Belt, the innovative technology to support and decompress your spine. And now it's covered by Medicare.
Every patient with back pain should be wearing this belt.
Nothing gave me instant relief except for the Dr. Ho belt.
Feel good while standing, walking, driving, doing housework, and while laying down. And now Dr. Ho's patented belt is available at our best price ever. It's even covered by Medicare. Order now and get the easy-to-use hand pump and back rehabilitation DVD free.
You know, similar belts can cost you almost $1,000, but my belts won't cost you $500, not $300, not even $200. I will give you my special TV price.
And remember, Dr. Ho's belt is covered by Medicare.
If you know a friend or family member that suffers with pain, get them my system today. Help them live with less pain, be more active, and get back to doing the things they love. Give them the gift of health.
Bridge Creek. Fourth, Cervantes Shawnee. Third, Smith from Stillwater. Second, Orcutt, Booker T. Washington. First place from Bishop McGinnis with a time of 2:02:24, a new state record for Hannah Newby. Event 6, the boys 200-yard individual medley. 8th place, Christian Stillwater. 7th, Carter, Fort Gibson. 6th, Hine from Bishop Kelly. 5th, Putnam from Carl Albert. 4th, Hill, Stillwater. 3rd, Sibley, Metro Christian. 2nd, James, Booker T. Washington. 1st place from Claremore with a time of 1:58:07, Dylan McLean.
All right, so award presentations continue. We've got a break in the action right now. We'll continue our swimming as it's all brought to you by the Ford Dealers of Oklahoma. Hopefully we'll get some interviews with some of the winners and also some of the new record holders here as we continue our coverage of the swim championships. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
It's the one and only Ford Truck Month, the place to find one-of-a-kind deals on Ford F-Series, including Motor Trend's Truck of the Year F-150. With best-in-class towing and torque, these bad boys make the rules and break them. That's why it's America's best-selling truck 41 years straight. But like ribs at a barbecue, these deals won't last long. Ford Truck Month. It's buy now time, partner. Now during Ford Truck Month, get up to $3,500 cash back on Ford Super Duty. Only at your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
We've all seen ads for medical alarms aimed at people who fall or have medical emergencies. Naturally, you never think it'll happen to you or the person you care for until it does. Hi, I'm Lonnie Anderson for Advantage Alert. Thanks to huge technological advances, our medical alarms now locate and protect you inside your home, outside your home, anywhere you go, allowing the wearer with the press of a button to speak to a trained operator who can summon help. We also offer protection for those who fall and are incapable of pressing a button. And for over 30 years, Advantage Alert's fees have remained amazingly affordable. Value and peace of mind. That's Advantage Alert.
Subscribe now and get our free jar of Royce Gold Pain Relief Cream every month for as long as you remain our customer. Just pay for shipping and processing. For a free Advantage Alert brochure, call toll-free 800-990-9156. That's 800-990-9156.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace?
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-233-0190.
Cox.com/learn.
Welcome back to the Ford Game of the Week. It's the OSSAA Swimming Championships, the Class 5A Finals. And, of course, we've got one of the brand new record holders with us. Hannah Newby from Bishop McGuinness is now joining us. Hannah, congratulations. Great event today and a great new state record. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Tell us about how it all got done.
Well, I've just been working really hard this year on really training my IM, working on all the strokes, especially in my backstroke and my fly, which have typically been my weak links. And so I think just putting it all together this season and working on all of them has really helped me get there. So.
And as you're standing on the blocks or behind the blocks and you're getting ready for this race, what are you running through in your mind? Kind of what's your strategy for this race, especially as you set out to potentially break your own record?
Strategy today was kind of fixing what I kind of made mistakes on yesterday, which I didn't really hit my walls yesterday. And so today I was really focusing on hitting those walls perfectly, getting the turns down so that I could do better than I did yesterday. So
looking a little ahead, foreshadowing a little bit. See you're entered in the breaststroke as well, top qualifier there, as well as existing record holder. Planning on breaking another record later in the day?
I'm definitely hoping to, and that is the goal. So.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Hannah. Just a junior, so she, of course, has another opportunity again next year to continue a streak of breaking state records. That's pretty impressive.
That's really impressive. Great young lady.
So we have moved through now 8 events, and this is updated. We'll take a timeout, come back, see if we can't find some more interviews for you, and also see if we can't find some standings to get you all updated. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
It's Ford Truck Month at your Oklahoma Ford dealers, our biggest sales event of the year. Now's the time to save on our full line of Ford trucks and Ford SUVs, America's most trusted brand. Save big on Escape, Edge, and Explorer, and the redesigned Expedition. A huge selection, the best offers. Now, current Ford owners get 0 for 60 plus $2,000 cash on Escape and Edge when financed through Ford Credit. Hurry into your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Attention parents of children with cerebral palsy. If you suspect a medical mistake may have occurred at or near the time of birth, call Science and Kirk for a free legal consultation. Financial compensation may be available for children diagnosed with cerebral palsy, Erb's palsy, or another birth injury. A lifetime of medical care can cost millions of dollars. Protect your child and find out what legal rights may be available.
Call 1-800-295-1392.
Do you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS? If so, you may qualify for the IRS Fresh Start program, so you won't have to make any payments to the IRS. That's right. If you qualify for the IRS Fresh Start program, you won't make any IRS payments once you are accepted. Once you're in the IRS Fresh Start program, the IRS will stop all harassing and threatening collection activities. Call Fidelity Tax Relief at 800-430-2910 to see if you qualify. 800-430-2910.
Is your family protected if something happens to you?
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me.
Help protect your family with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage with rates starting at just $9.40 a month. You cannot be turned down. In fact, TrueStage policies are protecting over 17 million Americans.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Get coverage today. Call 1-800-809-4234. Instantly.
Welcome back to your Ford game of the week. It's the OSSAA Swimming Championship Finals, Class 5A, here from Mitch Park in Edmond, Oklahoma. Steve Marshall, Max McKnight. And I guess right now, let's check out some of the standings that we have, Max, and how things are looking so far, and any surprises where we are as we give out those standings.
Looking as we run down through the list here of the girls, we'll just highlight the top 2 or 3. Stillwater, as expected, is out to an early lead after 8 events, which was just the men's 50 free that we completed. They're in the lead with 163 points. Booker T. Washington in second with 128. Shawnee with 61 and a half. So no real surprises there. I think that's off to start like about everybody thought. Maybe a little bit of surprise to see Shawnee up there that high this early in the meet. So we'll have to see if they can maintain that. Down in the men's side, kind of as expected again, Bishop Kelly and Stillwater neck and neck. They're tied at 98 points. Probably going to see that the whole rest of the day. Booker T not far behind in 87. This just again, everybody needs people to step up a spot or two. If you're qualified 5th, place 3rd. If you're qualified 11th, place 9th. That's how you gain points and make a run at this state championship. Punk City not out of the running. They're in 4th in the men's side with 62 points.
All right, let's go down deck side, pool side, if you will, and join another one of our state record holders, and that is Patrick Callan from Bishop Kelly Sr. Big smile on your face. I can see it, Patrick. Congratulations on a great day so far.
Thank you.
Talk about the event and what your strategy was coming into it.
Really, we're just trying to see how close I get to my best time today. I'm not rested or shaved at all, so we were just trying to see how fast I could be mid-season. And we've changed up my technique in the 50 a little bit, trying to kind of get some smaller, faster underwater kicks and work the breakout. So we were kind of testing that a little bit, and it seemed to work, and that was why I was almost able to put up the best time and have a pretty solid race overall today.
Patrick, those of us that watch a lot of swim know that time you win is fast. So what is your fastest time?
20.61, I believe.
Okay, so you were pretty close.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take anything away from today, but we haven't gotten a chance to talk about it yet. But you've signed with a pretty prestigious swim school to swim next year. Why don't you tell people at home what your plans are following this year?
Yeah, I've signed with Michigan back in November. They're a very good middle distance program, and their coach Mike Bottom and Josh White up there are the best 2 coaches in the country, I believe. And I'm very pumped to get up there and get training with them and see what I can do in the next couple of years.
Great. Well, Patrick, we look forward to watching you the rest of the day. Know you have the 100 free yet and a couple of relays, so best of luck the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Patrick.
Thank you.
Patrick Callan. Matter of fact, the next race is going to be a race that he holds the state record in and will not be swimming in that particular event as we get ready to return to the action. But before we all do that, let's take another time out and get ready, get everything all set to go for the next segment here of the OSSAA Swimming Finals. It's your Ford Game of the Week. We'll be right back.
Okay, it's Ford Truck Month, and here's how it works. You take F-150 Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, work in best-in-class towing and payload, sweeten up the offer, and boom, look who just saved a stack of cash. Step on it, sport. Drive home America's best-selling truck 41 years straight. Ford Truck Month is here. It's buy now time, people. Now during Truck Month, get up to $11,000 in total savings on the 2018 F-150. Only at your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
You're all set. I upgraded your internet and added the new panoramic Wi-Fi, so you'll have blazing fast speeds all over your house.
We'll see about that. Wi-Fi never reaches all the way up here.
No way it's fast down here.
Cool, right? You were right.
It's fast all over.
Yep.
Right?
Get a Wi-Fi experience that'll blow you away. Upgrade your internet for just $5 more a month. Ask about new panoramic Wi-Fi for wall-to-wall fast.
The Cox High School Hub has been your online source for live coverage of the Ford Game of the Week. Great photos and spectacular highlights. We've brought you the best in Oklahoma high school sports. Now the Hub has teamed up with YurView.com. Go to YurView.com/CoxHSHub and you'll find more live games from around the nation. More stories, photos, highlights, and more of the Ford Game of the Week. Catch it all at its new home on YurView.com. Brought to you by Ford, the best in Oklahoma.
If you're struggling with at least $10,000 in credit card debt, you could qualify for National Debt Relief's Debt Reset Program. This program can reduce the balances on your debt and reduce your monthly payments while you become debt-free in 24 to 48 months. There are no upfront costs or out-of-pocket expenses. Imagine being debt-free in 24 to 48 months. Call now to see if you qualify. You can talk to a counselor right now.
Call 800-694-6795.
Welcome back to the Ford Game of the Week. It's the 5A State Swim Championships as we move on now to event number 9, the girls' 100-yard butterfly, Max.
Have Guerra in lane 1 from Eisenhower, Moore from Altus in 2, Steele from Hera in 3, Detweiler from Altus in 4, Brynan from Stillwater in 5, Borders from Bishop McGinnis in 6, Coster from Booker T. Washington in 7, Brianna Lee from Shawnee in 8. Young ladies motor down through here, headed to that first wall. Hard to get a lot of separation in that first 25, but make the turn. Just to my eye, looked like lane 6, Borders, maybe off to a little bit of an early lead. Don't want to overlook out in lane 8, Brianna Lee up in there, going to make a charge for it here in the first 50. Detweiler did out-touch in lane 4 with a 32.28 to Moore's 32.34 in lane 2. And Monica Borders touched third from McGinnis with a 32.4. There's a good look at Brennan as she makes the turn for her final 25. Over in lane 6, Borders making a little bit of a run. Does look like Brennan's going to, if she can put her head down here and make that final lunge, going to hold on for the win in a 1:10.01. Only 3600ths behind her. Detweiler from Altus with a 1:10.37 in second and a 1:10.61 for Borders. Finishes out the top 3 there in the women's B final.
So Altus getting some needed points for them as they place 2 in the top 4 in that girls 100-yard butterfly match, and that'll take us now to the A final. This is event number 9, state record, Chelsea Yee. We've already mentioned her once. She is the all-time record holder. Back in 2011, she swam this in 56:11.
Yes, as we look down through our starting lineup for the A final of the women's 100 fly, we have Bivens from Duncan in 1, Brown from Deer Creek in 2, Shaw from Carl Albert in 3, Dewey Blows, who we've mentioned a couple of times earlier today, from Stillwater's fast qualifier with a 57.87, Devin Speed from Eisenhower in 5, Smith from Stillwater in 6, Grind from Shawnee in 7. Augustine from Altus in lane 8. Really looking for a good race here between Blos and Speed, these two great young ladies that are really good stroke specialist sprinters.
They were the only two that finished in under 1 minute. Blos at 57.87 and Speed at 58.96, and they're in the water.
Just want to mention these two young ladies too. We just talked to Patrick, who's going to Michigan. Dewey Blos next year will be swimming for University of Kansas, and Devin Speed, if I remember right, I'll double check this, but I believe Devin's going to swim for the SIU Salukis next year. So they make the turn here at the first 50. It is Dewey Blos with a 25.77. Devin right behind her with a 26.89 in second. Sylvia Shaw, Carl Albert rounds out the top 3 at the 50 with a 29.05. Dewey seems to be stretching her lead out a little bit here as she makes the turn. Arms recovering over the water, taking a breath every stroke or two. Puts her head down here, makes that final lunge with a 55.22. Have a new state record right there, Steve.
Wow.
They kind of snuck up on me. I didn't see that one coming probably. So congratulations to Dewey Blos with a new state record, 55.22. Devin Speed with a 58.67 in second. Cecilia Smith made a good final run there in the final 50. Finished in third with a 102.62. Congratulations to those young ladies on some great swims.
Dewey Blos 55.22. The old record was 56.11, so it's just about 40 seconds better than, not 40 seconds, but 4 points. And Chelsea Yee, of course, as you remember, she cleaned up.
She did clean up
for a long time.
And that's just a little indication why Kansas was down here doing a little recruiting too.
So now we have the boys B final in the 100-yard butterfly.
From Hera, we have Ewanik in lane 1, Cal from Mount St. Mary in 2, Stockstill from Booker T. Washington in 3, Johnson from Deer Creek in 4, Kristen from Stillwater in 5, Wong from Bishop Kelly in 6, Annis from Altus in 7, and Denton from Stillwater in 8. Look down through the fields, these guys make the turn. Sam Johnson is the fast qualifier, 26.39 turns first. Christian 27.16 in second. Wong, Bishop Kelly turns in third with a 27.34. Maybe tightening up a little bit here. Lane 5 Christians really buckling down, putting in some good strokes. Seems to be slowing down a little. Over in 6 is actually going to finish second in this. Winner of Heat 1 here, the boys B. Johnson from Deer Creek. Wong from Bishop Kelly takes second with a 57.98. Christian from Stillwater with a 58.62.
That is your B final, and that will bring us now to the A final. The boys 100-yard butterfly. Again, the record here is held by Patrick Callan, who swam it in 50.64 at last year's state championship. But he's not on the list this year.
Not on the list this year. We'll watch the swimmers parade in. Hammond from Fort Gibson in 1. Lorette from Ponca City in 2. James from Booker T in 3. Brock and Hubbard in 4 and 5, actually tied in prelims with a 54.5. Fortin from Bishop McGinnis in 6. Anusor Panich from Deer Creek in 7, and Knotts from Deer Creek in 8.
All right, this is the 10th event of the day. For those unfamiliar with swimming, 22 events in total, so we're nearing the halfway mark of the 5A championship finals. Reminder again that we will have the 6A championship finals coming your way beginning at 5 p.m. later this afternoon.
Real chance for Booker T to pick up some serious points here. Have 2 swimmers in this final. Stillwater didn't qualify anybody for the final, though they did have 2 in the B final. Just a real quick rundown of the points. First place scores 20, 17 for second, 16, 15, 14 through 11th, down through 8th, then 9 points for 9th. So there is a chance to really add some points here. Brock turns first with a 25.01, 25.14 for James in second, and a 25.19 for Hubbard for third. So just 1,800 separated these young men. These guys have got a great race coming down through here. Could go any of about 3 ways. Want to see who wants this the most? Put your head down, boys. Reach for that wall. 53.73 for Brock. Takes the win for Booker T. Washington. Hubbard from Altus snuck in there with a 53.77 for second. James holds on for third with a 53.86. So just 1,300 separate those top 3. What a great race for these guys in the A final here.
That was. It was anybody's match there going into the final leg, and in the end, very, very close race.
You couldn't have called that as they passed under the flags.
And there was 4 that were just neck and neck all the way through the final few yards. All right, so that concludes the boys 100-yard butterfly. That'll take us to our next event. That's the girls 100-yard freestyle. This will be the B final coming up.
We have a tie for 6th place. Webb from Shawnee, Harper from Duncan. Fifth place, Shaw, Carl Elbert. 4th, Wertman, Piedmont. 3rd, Hooper, Stillwater. 2nd, Latta, Booker T. Washington. First place with a time of 24:40 from Stillwater High School, Marcia Shaw. Now for event 8, the boys 50-yard freestyle. 8th place, Mayor, Ponca City. 7th, Plumley, Hera. 6th, Holcher from Booker T. Washington. 5th, Clark from Stillwater. 4th, Hubbard, Altus. 3rd, Burdick from Ponca City. 2nd, McGuire from Bridge Creek. 1st place from Bishop Kelly with a time of 20.78, a new state record for Patrick Callan.
All right, there you see Patrick Callan taking the top step as he is your champion. And he did it in fine fashion with a new state record. Congratulations to him and his teammates as we continue to move along through our day of swimming here. Brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers. This will be event number 11, the girls 100-yard freestyle. The B final is up first.
Had a look there at Mackenzie Porterfield from Fort Gibson before we went to the lineup here. She's in lane 1. Hill from Stillwater's in lane 2. Whitaker from from Bethany in 3. DeYoung from Deer Creek in 4. Hurst from Altus in 5. Booker T. Washington's Peraza, name we've heard before today, is in 6. Throgmorton from Muskogee in 7. And Saturn from Shawnee over in lane 8. 100 freestyle obviously is the freestyle event. Used to be called the American Crawl.
How long ago was that?
That was a while ago. Yeah, I'm starting to date myself, aren't I? That was probably in the 70s, I think, made the change. Somebody will probably correct me if I'm wrong, but DeYoung from Deer Creek touches first at the 50 with a 27.69. Hurst from Altus, 28.22, is in second, and 28.32 is Peraza, rounds out the top 3. I'm pretty sure none of these swimmers have ever heard it called that.
If it was back in the 70s,
some of their parents have probably never heard that. As they close in here, bringing it back under the flags, is going to be DeYoung from Deer Creek taking the win in the girls B final with a 58.83. Peraza makes a good final push in lane 6 to finish second with a 59.51. Hurst from Altus finishes with a 1 flat 10. Round out the top 3 here in the girls B final.
So DeYoung was the only one to swim under 1 minute yesterday. She is joined today. We now look at the A final, girls 100-yard freestyle. And a lot of the same characters, a couple from Booker T. Washington, 2 from Stillwater. As those two continue to fight forward and hopefully take home a state championship by the day's end.
Good look at the swimmers as they parade them in. Ramsey from Oologah will be in lane 1. Workman from Piedmont will be in 2. Nemechek, lane 3 from Carl Albert. Top qualifier, Marcia Shaw from Stillwater with a 53.25 in 4. Emma Latta from Booker T. Washington in 5. Stillwater Pioneers, Hooper in 6. Studner from Metro Christian in 7, and Lauren Myers from Booker T. Washington in lane 8.
State record, once again, Chelsea Yee from Class AS back in 2010. She swam this event in 51.47. So that's a second and a half, the fastest time in the prelims yesterday.
That is a second and a half, but after what we saw earlier, I don't want to go out on a limb and say we're not going to see that happen. Looks like a good clean start for these young ladies. Oh, good underwaters from Shaw there in lane 4 as the fast qualifier. A lot of dolphin kicks before her head hit the surface. Swimmers are allowed to swim the first 15 meters underwater. Head has to break the surface. Hard to see on TV, but for the viewers, there's a couple of discs in the lane lines that are yellow. From the start end, it's the furthest pair. That doesn't seem logical, but that is the 15-meter mark. The ones to the viewers left are the 15-meter mark after they've made the turn. They complete the turn for the final 25. Shaw, from our vantage point, does look like she still maintains the lead. Viewers here at home can see that. She stretches that lead out, going to win by about a body length with a 52.99. Improved on her entry time just a little bit, a couple of tenths. Emma Latta from Booker T. Washington finishes second with a 54.23. Jaden Hooper from Stillwater with a 55.63. Stillwater going 1-3, just stack some more points on top of their lead, but they just continue to stretch that lead.
All right, from the girls to the boys, we move next. This is the 100-yard freestyle as they finish up on this. First up, we have the B final. Bishop Kelly Stillwater with a racer in this event, also Bethany Altus for Gibson.
These guys get underway. We have Sires from Stillwater in 1, Serrano Meneses from Bishop Kelly in 2, Palmer from Bethany in 3, Brock Lawrence, Carl Albert in 4, Lorenzo Bishop Mack 5, Hunt Bishop Kelly 6, Shive Altus in 7, and Crooks from Fort Gibson in 8. Shive from Altus out to prove a little something over in lane 7 with a 24.74. Brock Lawrence, Carl Albert with a 24.85 as these guys make their turn, head for home. Watch them really get into this race, see who's going to want this, take home some points for their school. Looks like Shive still holding his own over there in lane 7, but have somebody down here in lane 2 that's going to actually take the win. Serrano Meneses takes the win, the B final with a 52.3. Shive in 7, 52.31, only 100 behind. Brock Lawrence, Carl Albert there in lane 4 with a 52.34 rounds out the top 3.
Very close race in the B final. Will then bring us to the A final coming up as the swimmers prepare to make their march around the pool. They'll don their jackets and then get ready to swim in this 100-yard freestyle. State record was broken yesterday, you told me yesterday.
Patrick Callan did set this state record that we show here of 45.69 yesterday. I think he'll be loaded for bear again to reset that record this morning. Run down through the field real quick. Tidland from Stillwater in 1, Hughes from Booker T. Washington in 2, Burdick from Ponca City in 3, Callan, Bishop Kelly in 4, McGuire, Brick Creek in 5, Plumley, Hara in 6, Holzer, Booker T. Washington in 7, and also from Booker T. Brown in lane 8.
Callan swam a 45.69 for the new state record, eclipsing Isaac McKnight, who had that 45.96 back in 2011. Does it seem like it was that long ago?
You know, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't.
Right. I know that feeling.
Just seems like yesterday, really, sometimes.
Yeah, that's great.
Hope the viewers at home are watching this. I think this is one of those, you know, once in a generation is probably an overstatement, but seem to cycle some swimmers through that every 6 or 8 years there's one that kind of comes along. We've had Sam Woodward, Chelsea Yee, you know, Jake Pierce, Easton Holloway, some of these guys. Patrick Callan is one of these guys that, you know, hope people at home are watching this. He makes it look effortless, but it's not. He's working hard as he makes the turn in the final 25. It's just great watching swim this race. He's going to shatter yesterday's record.
Wow.
44.32 against a 45.69 from yesterday. Caleb McGuire with a great swim. Also 48.07, great swim from that young man. Burdick from Ponca City rounds out the top 3 with a 49.31. Congratulations to Patrick Callan with the state record. That'll be a long time before we see that one reset.
I liked as he got to the wall and looked at the clock and just kind of nodded his head like, okay, that's exactly what I intended to do. And not all the time are you able to do what you want to do. You have to, you know, get there, and he certainly did that. Breaks another state record. I believe that's the 8th state record that he has broken. So congratulations to Patrick Callan. We'd already had an opportunity to talk with him earlier. Callan walking away after a historic performance is no other way to put it.
Yeah. Great smile on that young man's face. Good to see that.
Some awards presentations being handed out once again, so let's join our public address announcer, Alan Meyer, as the young men and young women take their place on the podium.
7th, Bivens from Duncan. 6th, Brown from Deer Creek. 5th, Grind from Shawnee. 4th, Shaw from Carl Albert. 3rd, Smith from Stillwater. 2nd, Speed from Eisenhower. 1st place from Stillwater with a time of 55:22, a new state record for Dewey Blues. Now for event 10, the boys 100-yard butterfly. 8th place, Knott's, Deer Creek. 7th place, Honoris O'Pouch from Deer Creek. 6th, Hammond from Fort Gibson. 5th, Lorette, Ponca City. 4th, Fortin, Bishop McGuinness. 3rd, James, Booker T. Washington. 2nd, Hubbard, Altus. 1st place from Booker T. Washington with a time of 53:73, Eli Brock.
Welcome back, everybody, as we continue our coverage of the 5A State Swim Championships brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers. You can see there Eli Brock, he was your winner from Booker T. Washington in the boys 100-yard butterfly. And now we've got some of the distance events that'll be coming your way. First up will be the girls 500-yard freestyle. This will be the B final coming up. Max McKnight and I will try to catch you up on some of the action that's taken place, update on the standings perhaps, as obviously these are the longest events of the day.
Run down through the starting lineup here for the girls B final 500 freestyle. Phoebe Robinson from Metro Christian, Bree Moore from Noble High School, Iris Barunda from Stillwater, Cassie Powell, the top qualifier for the B final from Booker T. Washington, Riley Barrett from Ponca City in 5, Annabelle Remy from Booker T. Washington, Shelby Lockwood from Ponca City in 7, and Haley Frith from Altus in lane 8. A little bit of a spread on these qualifiers. The top qualifier was, as we mentioned, Cassie Powell with 5:56, all the way to a 6:18.16 for Haley Frith from Altus. Is 20 lengths of the pool. Some of the wider shots that you'll see, they do have a counter on the far end to help them keep track of the laps, although it is the swimmer's responsibility to keep track of the laps. If the counter gets wrong and something gets messed up, ultimately it is the swimmer's responsibility to swim the prescribed distance.
State record in this event set back in 2014 by Jesse Hildebrand from Newcastle. I remember calling a lot of those matches, and doesn't look as though that's going to be a record that's approachable this year.
Savannah Barth may be able to make a run at that. I don't know. I didn't talk to Coach Goebel that much about the distance events today, so I don't know, what her best time coming in is. We'll see. She may make a run at that. Jessie Hildebrand was a great young distance swimmer. She went on to swim. She swims for the Evansville Purple Aces, and they swim in the Missouri Valley. I just kind of keep track of Missouri Valley a little bit, and their girls conference is this weekend. So Jessie's swimming the final meet of her swim career this weekend. So doubt she's listening, but hope that goes well for her.
Yeah, now I know I'm starting to feel old when the performers that we covered years ago are suddenly graduating college, or others from way back when that you know, are excelling in the business world and elsewhere. So it's great to see these youngsters as competitors at this particular age, and then to follow them as you do, a lot of them on their collegiate careers and beyond. And we've had a couple of Olympic swimmers. I think Plummer, I know, was one from Westmore. Anybody else that I'm unaware of?
None come to mind. I'll have to think on it a little bit.
Samantha didn't.
Samantha, I think she made B finals at trials. She was on I think the USA swim team, swam some international events, Pan Pacs and some of those things for a time. Went on to a great career at Stanford. As we traveled around, it was fun to, I think we showed up at SIU or Miami of Ohio or somewhere, and you look up and her name's on that record board. So that was fun to do. I do know Paul Lee, a name that a lot of the viewers that have followed it for a while. He made a good run at last Olympics. He's Vietnamese, almost made it for the Vietnamese team. He continues to work out, train, hopes to go to Tokyo in 2020. So that's an upcoming possibility. Wish him the best. Do stay in touch with him. He roomed with Isaac. They swam their college careers together, so we still keep up with Paul.
This is the girls 500-yard free. This is the B heat right here. Fastest swimmer in this event yesterday was Cassie Powell of Booker T. Washington.
Cassie's maintained the lead really since the first 50 she's at a 3:32.92 at this point, 3:33.66 for Barrett in second. Iris Barunda was in third. Well past the halfway point on the race here. Need to hone up on my math on these things. Not this will probably be bringing them back to the 350. My math's any good looking at the lap counters down there. Coming back to 15, right. The 350, it's 4:09.45 for Cassie Powell, 4:10.12 for Riley Barrett. Iris Barunda maintains third with a 4:10.56. Heard Patrick mention during his interview that he's not shaved and tapered. He's just kind of in the middle of his training. A lot of these swimmers are shaved and tapered. In the weeks leading up, they're piling on the yards. They're working hard, swimming a lot of intense practices. Depending on the individual swimmers and their events, as the meets get closer, they throttle back the yards. They rest them a little more, so those muscles have time to recover. That's I've probably botched that explanation of taper, but it's basically just resting them so that they're really able to go fast. You know, a lot of them shave down. The men, if they weren't wearing caps, you'd notice, you know, they cut their hair short, they shaved their bodies. So that's the shave and taper explanation from what Patrick mentioned earlier. So as these ladies take the bell lap, 2 lengths to go. Powell maintains the lead with a 5:20.71. Barrett with a 5:21.52. Iris Barunda with a 5:23.73. Barrett making a hard charge at Powell here in the final 25. We're going to have to see which one of these young ladies wants it the most. Get their head down, their lungs are burning, their legs are burning. It is going to be Barrett just touching her out for the win in the girls' B final of the 500. Riley Barrett from Ponca City with a 5:54.36, just edges Powell by a 10th with a 5:54.46. And then third, Barunda from Stillwater with a 5:59.49.
So Barrett wins it, improving her time from yesterday by about 2 seconds. getting some points, and that, of course, will take us to the A final of the girls' 500-yard freestyle. It's your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week, the 5A State Swim Championships. Also, you can check us out streaming at YurView. That's YurView. We'll have that posted for you here sometime later in the weekend and able for all to see, as it will be archived online. And we're going to get the music rocking a little bit more here as we move to the A final of the girls' 500-yard freestyle. What are you expecting in this race, Mitch?
Well, just looking at the qualifying times, we do have Savannah Barth as the top qualifier with a 5:20.32. Isabel Packard from Metro Christian with a 5:25. I think those two will be the ones we want to watch there in the middle of the pool as this race transpires. As I mentioned earlier, they would not have been in the same heat yesterday, so we'll watch them as they go head-to-head here this morning. Joining them, the rest of this A final, Leticia Cervantes from Shawnee in 1, Abby Mink from Bishop Kelly in 2, Hallie Sheffield from Tuttle in lane 3. Have Barth and Packard from Stillwater and Metro in 4 and 5. Bella Tidland from Stillwater in 6. Booker T. Washington's Mackenzie Martin in 7. Rounding out the field in lane 8 is Rachel Rising from Hara.
Swimmers are all set to go, waiting for their instructions. They hit the pool. Championship finals, the girls' 500-yard freestyle.
As these girls take off on their first 50, just recap the team scores real quick. Just keep viewers and listeners aware. Stillwater just kind of continues to extend their lead. At this point, after event 12, they lead with 249 points. Booker T. Washington with 167. Carl Albert with 79. Shawnee in 4th, just a point and a half behind them with 77 and a half. And Altus rounds out the top 5 with 70. On the boys' side, Booker T. Washington 166 points. Bishop Kelly 139 points. Stillwater Pioneers with 119. Did just get a revised final sheet for event 10, the men's 100-yard butterfly. We did have a DQ in that race. So Drew Knotts from Deer Creek will not be scoring points in that event. So those results I read will include that.
You look at those standings, the Stillwater girls have won 3 consecutive state championships. Before that, it was Fort Gibson who put together 4. So it's been Fort Gibson or Stillwater now for the last 7 years in succession in girls 5A swimming. On the boys' side in 5A, Deer Creek won it last year. The 2 previous years, it was won by Altus. Stillwater in 2014, Bixby in 2012 and 2013, Hara back in 2011, and Altus back in 2010. It's the state championships since the year 2010.
Yes, that's something you notice in a lot of the 5A schools. They seem to ebb and flow. You get a group that, Altus, for instance, they won 2, I think you said, in a row.
Right.
I talked to Linda Wigington a little yesterday and again today, and they think they're kind of in a rebuilding time. They've got some good young swimmers they're trying to bring along, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them make a run at it again in a year or 2. Some of these others, you graduate some kids, you don't bring some others up behind them, have that down cycle. So it's interesting to watch how they do kind of ebb and flow. Stillwater is one of those, at least on the girls' side, that when you look at their depth, they have some continued depth. So they may be a force to be reckoned with for a little bit.
The 6A schools, probably their daily enrollment is 2,000 or better. Obviously, some cases 3,000 and 4,000 students, and then in 5A, you're pretty much around that 800 to 1,400. So yeah, it's hard to keep that train rolling, if you will, when you're in 5A and you don't have as many athletes, swimmers to choose from.
Yeah, no pun intended. You don't have the pool to choose from. So there's just not that many.
Very good.
That many people.
final in the girls 500 free. Savannah Barth from Stillwater turned in the fastest time of this group with 5 minutes, 20.32 seconds.
Right now we have Isabel Packard with the lead with a 3:37.72. Turning in second will be Savannah Barth with a 3:44.92.
As a coach, when you see these swimmers, is there a certain age that you can really decide whether they're somebody that is built for the 50 or the 100 or for the 500? Because obviously you don't see swimmers that excel at the lower levels and then also at the greater distances.
You know, I've seen it every way, Steve. You know, some young swimmers, they kind of find their niche, and when they come up through it, a lot of them, as they come up, the coaches don't want them to specialize early. They have them swim everything. You know, I've seen, you know, think back to a young swimmer, young man, Dakota Wheeler, a few years back. He didn't start swimming until he was a freshman in high school. Had a friend that was on the team and went out and became a good breaststroker. So there's just not really any rhyme or reason, it doesn't seem like. You know, a lot of times as they start earlier, you can maybe fix some of the problems a little easier. But at the early age, a lot of them don't try to have them specialize. The girls come back here on the final 50. You hear all the bells going off. They get the bell with 2 lengths of the pool to go. It is going to be Isabel Packard with the win, a 5:13.05. Abby Mink from Bishop Kelly sneaks in there for second with a 5:15.03. Barth from Stillwater with 5:16.50. Round out the top 3. Mackenzie Martin, Booker T. Washington with a 5:28.97.
So some of these girls making big improvements. 12 seconds for Packard, who was 5:25.39 yesterday. 5:13.05, your winning time today.
A lot of excitement from the Hera girls for Rachel Reisling. She did improve on yesterday's time by 3 seconds. It must be a best time. It's good to hear that kind of excitement as they score some points there for 8.
Great support from your teammates. Now we move to event number 14, the boys 500-yard freestyle. This will be the B final, and Patrick Callan, who will be swimming in this A championship final, is your record holder. He set that back in 2015 with a time of 4:38.23.
Set the field for the B final. We have Michael Williams from Booker T. Washington in 1, Joe Rollins from Fort Gibson in 2, Riley Hoyt from Edison Prep in 3, Christian Hayes in 4 from Fort Gibson. Altus Bulldogs have Canyon Hart in lane 5, Brody Morris from Shawnee in 6, Ben Newby from Bishop McGinnis in 7, and John Perdue from Altus in lane 8. Interesting thing in that last women's event that, you know, if they finished according to their places, it would have been 4, 5, 3, 6, 2, 7, 1, 8, and we were just all over the board on that one. You know, we had 5 won it. I think second was lane 2. Just all over had a lot of women really improve their times from yesterday's prelim session. So these guys finish out their first 100. Riley Hoyt in lane 3 with a 57.7, 58.51 for Brody Morris from Shawnee. Canyon Hart from Altus round out the top 3 with a 58.75. We've mentioned a little earlier, but I will mention again the volunteers it takes to run a swim meet. All the officials at this meet are volunteers. Have 2 starters, 2 deck refs, a multitude of stroke and turn officials. Most of these officials will work both sessions. They'll do the 5A and the 6A. We have 3 timers in each lane. One typically is the recorder. He's recording the watch times. The other 2 are running stopwatches. This meet is, as most meets at this level are timed electronically. The pads are the primary. Timers do have a backup button that is secondary. If there's a failure of both of those systems, the stopwatches are the tertiary system, and there are factors and things that get taken into account, averaging times and so forth. But with swimming being the time-based event, getting those times is of utmost important. That's why when you look down behind the blocks, you see 24 people sitting there. You have also a number of people running, posting results, those kind of things. So literally, it could be 100 people volunteering, helping make this meet a success throughout the day.
Well, of all the events that I've done with the OSSAA, this, they're all run great, and they all, try to accommodate media and everything else that goes along the lines. But this one in particular, the very first year that I did it, I just couldn't believe the way that, was running like an intricate machine, just everything on time and well handled. So nothing changes. Still a great event.
It is a great event. I always enjoy doing this event. People look at me like I'm crazy, and I probably am. Rhonda, that sits here next to me, is nodding her head. I think she agrees that I am. But, I look forward to this day as much as I look forward to Thanksgiving and Christmas. This is just a fun day. I get to know a lot of people here. It's the time of year I get to see a lot of people. So, I just appreciate every year getting to come back and work with you, Steve, and the others on the team. Riley Hoyt jumped out on the lead early in this race in lane 3. He continues to maintain that lead with a 3:40.54. Canyon Hart from Altus with a 3:45.26 in second. Christian Hayes with a 3:46.84. These young men will be coming back to the 400 at this touch. Have 100 to go. See what they have left in the tank as they make the turn.
Races like this too, I'm sure that coaches, swimmers themselves, sometimes get caught up in the moment. And what was maybe half the crowd size yesterday, I wasn't here, you were, what it was like. But imagine sometimes you have to scale it back just a little bit so you're not too enthusiastic.
I think that's a big challenge for a lot of these athletes. Of course, a lot of, it's late in the season, they've swam in front of crowds, they've had regionals, but I also know that you're exactly right. How do you dial it back? I had a coach saying, that she'd had a swimmer that told her yesterday she hadn't slept at all.
Wow.
So how do you manage those emotions is just a huge challenge. These swimmers take the bell lap. Riley Hoyt maintains his lead. Makes the final turn for home. Looks like he is going to win this race easily. Good to see him put together a good swim here in the B final. Out there in 4 and 5, Hayes and Hart, these two boys are duking it out, going to see who wants it most and keep their head down. Looks like it is going to be Hayes to bring home second. 5:22.65 for Hoyt, 5:25.33 for Hayes, 5:25.53 for Hart.
Almost a full 3 seconds quicker than what they swam yesterday in some cases. So congratulations to all the swimmers for making it to this point. And there you see the final standings of the boys, 500 free. As Max told you, Riley Hoyt from Edison winning at 5:22.65, almost exactly 3 seconds faster than yesterday. That's the B final, and that of course will bring us next the A final in the boys 500-yard freestyle, and then we'll look at having some more awards that'll be coming your way. A great day of swimming. It's all brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers. Reminder, coming up at 5 o'clock, it will be the 6A state championships, and we'll have all that action for you here once again.
Steve, watching Michael Williams from Booker T. Washington, just looking at his pre-entry time, he had a 5:44, win a 5:37. He was jumping around down here in the pool, splashing around. getting hugs from teammates. You know, bettered his time from yesterday by 7 seconds. That's one of the fun things about this. You know, it's just that personal best. I gave it my all, and look what I did.
Yeah, even though, you know,
I mean,
might not be a winner, but
5 or 6 teammates down here. You would look at him, you think he was on the top of the podium.
That's great. That's great. Glad you pointed that out. All right, your field for the A final, the championship final, the boys 500 free.
Run down through our lineup here for the men's A final. Paul Hunt in 1 from Bishop Kelly, Caleb Putnam from Carl Albert in 2, Danny Sibley from Metro Christian in 3, Jack Callan from Bishop Kelly in 4, Ryan Clark from Stillwater in 5, Sam Duda from Bishop Kelly in 6, Luke James from Booker T in 7, as is Nathan Wallace in 8 from Booker T. Out here in lane 4, top qualifier for the event, 4:54.21, is Jack Callan. He is the younger brother of Patrick Callan. Jack is a sophomore from Bishop Kelly, great young swimmer in his own right. He takes the turn at the first 50 in 25:15. Caleb Putnam from Carl Albert actually touched first on that first 50 with a 25:13. Steve, you mentioned earlier, you know, when coaches, you know, start identifying talent or how they work with kids and all. We can talk more about him in the 6A session tonight. But David Lynn in Tulsa is a coach that is always able to develop some really good distance swimmers. He coaches a couple of club teams. He coaches Tulsa Union, but you know, Easton Holloway swam with him. His own son swam for him. But he'll have some this afternoon. I don't recall their names off the top of my head, but Dave always turns out good distance swimmers. He understands that process and how to develop them. You know, he's always had some good sprinters. Easton Holloway was a good sprinter too. He held the 200 free relay. 200 free record for a while. So, you know, just like swimmers, coaches have some specialties. They try to develop the overall athlete, and certainly on the high school level, or, you know, trying to develop good people.
Well, we mentioned that the state record is held by Patrick Callan, who's not swimming in this race. He's already set a couple state records at the this weekend. But his younger brother, Jack Callan, it's got to be a coach's decision, not a swimmer's decision, I would guess, as to what, you know, whether, you know, Jack is going to swim in this and Patrick is going to swim in that.
It is a coach's decision. They look. Steve, you know, I've been following swimming now, I think, about 20 years. I don't know how coaches do it.
No.
You know, you've got to look at your roster, what you think their strengths are, you know, where other coaches want to place their swimmers. How do you know, most of them just say, you know, I've got to put my best people where I need them most, and hope they perform, hope I've trained them well. They've taken advantage of that, and they perform up to their capabilities. I think it's important to note that, you know, at the state meet, well, in any high school meet at the high school level, swimmers can enter up to 4 events. Only 2 of those can be individual events. There's 3 relays, so for instance, a swimmer could swim 1 individual event and 3 relays, you know, or 2 and 2, but they cannot swim 3 individuals and 1 relay.
Gotcha.
So no more than 2 individual events. Linda Wigington, that I've mentioned already today, one of her Alta State Championships. They won that by taking advantage of those relay points. They had some individual swimmers that swam the 3 relays, gave up an individual event so they could double the points. And one of their years is kind of that team first mentality. How do we, you know, we'd rather have that ring,
yeah, sure,
than some of the individual things. So,
and you'd think that, you know, not everybody is going to be very willing to give up what they feel like would be, you know, their own personal gold medal, but you do it for the sake of team, especially in this sport, as we saw just a while ago, just congratulating somebody who didn't finish 1, 2, or 3, but was congratulated by all of his teammates because he'd improved his time so much.
You know, I spend the Friday before the meet, you know, before we do finals here at the meet, and I know a lot of the coaches, and they're all, you know, I'm friends with a lot of them, and they're just great people. I've mentioned a few, but you know, they're all trying to develop fine young people. You know, it's that team first mentality. It's put in the work, it's train hard, and the results will come. You know, Linda kind of at Altus tries to instill that bulldog mentality. You know, just bite onto it and don't let go till you get it. The men have taken the bell lap on the A final here. Is going to be Jack Callan bringing home the win with a 4:40.86. Within 2 seconds of his brother's record, 4:48.59 for Ryan Clark from Stillwater. Sam Duda from Bishop Kelly in third with a 4:49.53. Did mention that Jack is a sophomore, so he got a couple more years to train hard, put in the work. Maybe he'll bring home that state record one of the future years.
Jack Callan 14 seconds faster than he was yesterday. 4:40.86 was the winning time. Ryan Clark improved his mark from yesterday by about 7 points. So the guy's doing a real good job in stepping it up and finishing strong here today. And now it's time for some more awards to be given out. And they'll be specifically covering, let's see here, it should be the 100 freestyle that we'll be looking at next. And all the youngsters climbing the podium because they have finished and had themselves a very successful state tournament. As they make their way
Event
to
11,
the
the
podium.
girls 100-yard freestyle.
Let's join our public address announcer once
Eighth
again.
place, Myers, Booker T, Washington. 7th, Ramsey, Ulaga. 6th, Stutner, Metro Christian. 5th, Wortman, Piedmont. 4th, Nemechek, Carl Albert. 3rd, Hooper, Stillwater. 2nd, Latta, Booker T, Washington. 1st place with a time of 52.99 from Stillwater, Marcia Shaw. Event 12 for the boys 100-yard freestyle. 8th place, Brown, Booker T, Washington. 7th, Tidland, Stillwater. 6th, Hughes, Booker T, Washington. 5th, Holzler, Booker T, Washington. 4th, Plumley, Hera. 3rd, Burdick from Ponca City. 2nd, McGuire, Bridge Creek. 1st place from Bishop Kelly with a time of 44:32. A new state record for Patrick Callan.
All right, welcome back. And there's Patrick Callan again. Seen him a few times. And we should be getting ready to get our next events underway as we swim a couple races and then recognize the winners from some of the previous races throughout the day here at the Edmond Aquatic Center.
Steve, have the 200-yard freestyle splash and dash ×4. We do like to mention the individual swimmers' names if we get a chance. This is one of those races that it's so fast and so furious we don't always get a chance to do that. No, this is going to be a great race.
This will be the B final coming up. As you can see there, Oologah and Duncan, Hera, Fort Gibson, Metro, Piedmont, Ponca City, and Bethany. Metro set the record last year, 1:43.03. Their time yesterday was 1:53.
As we've mentioned, a lot of electronics involved in this, having a few technical issues, but think we've got it straightened out now as we long whistle the girls up on the blocks. Girls hit the water here from our vantage point. Saw a little something that if I was a starter would give me pause. We'll have to see if anything transpires because of that. Hate to see that. They come down through here, get ready to make the first exchange. Over in lane 5, it's going to be Metro Christian Academy with an early lead, 26-65. Down here in lane 2 nearest us, Duncan with a 27-22. Hera in third with a 28-19. Third swimmers are all stepping up on the block as they get ready to make the exchange. Still going to be lane 5, Metro Christian Academy with about a half a body length. A lot can change in these races as they progress through the different legs. Metro with a 57.31, 57.94 for Fort Gibson, and a 58.01 for Hera. Anchor legs, going to have Mullendorf from Hera, Porterfield from Fort Gibson, Packard from Metro Christian, and Workman from Piedmont in the center of the pool. Metro Christian maintains their lead, 124.98. Hera has taken second with a 126.12, followed by Fort Gibson in third with a 126.32. Metro Christian, Packard has just extended their lead. She's going to cruise in for them to win the B final. Great race here for second. We'll see who grits it out the hardest. Going to be Fort Gibson in second with a 153.63. Hera with a 154.14. 154.16 Piedmont in fourth.
So Metro wins the B final in the girls 200-yard freestyle. See the scoreboard there. Their time yesterday was 153.38, so they bettered their mark. And here come the A final swimmers.
We'll try to keep an eye on the officials. I see an official having a conversation down there. That is typically not good news. We will follow up on that and see if there'll be any change in the standings. It did look to me like where I sat that there was a false start from their lead swimmer. We parade in the A finalists. Bishop McGinnis will be in lane 1. Deer Creek in lane 2. You can hear the crowd getting into it. A lot of excitement from the crowd. High-fiving teammates as they come in. Shawnee in lane 3. Stillwater, odds-on favorite on this, qualifying time of 1:44.28. They'll be making a run at their record, or at the record that Metro Christian has of 1:43.03. Carl Albert in 5. Altus in 6. Bishop Kelly in 7. Booker T. Washington in lane 8.
So you can see Stillwater there and swimming as your top seed, if you will, at 1:44.28. Carl Albert 5 seconds behind that. So we'll see if they can make up any time and if anybody else can better their times from yesterday to move up and move their team up in the team standings.
Yeah, Stillwater having that 5-second qualifying advantage, but those next 4 or 5, you know, in the 149, 150, this could be a real race for second. I know the coaches are preaching safe starts and want fast starts, but you also want safe starts, especially on the exchanges. Stillwater does seem to be out to a bit of a lead here as they make the first exchange. 25-12 to a 26-37 for Shawnee. Over in lane 7, Bishop Kelly with a 26-51. The relay exchanges. There are relay takeoff pads on the pads that operate within a tolerance. There are takeoff judges that work as a backup to that. They're looking to be sure that the touch happens before the swimmer leaves the blocks. They can be moving, but the toes cannot leave contact with the block before the swimmer touches the wall. As expected, Stillwater out to a huge lead, probably has 8 or 10 body lengths on second. They make the exchange to fourth swimmer. Have a 1:16.17 to a 1:21.17. Deer Creek in third with a 1:21.36. Going to be close. Puts her head down, reaches for the wall. 1:42.42, breaks the state record by about 0.6 of a second. Congratulations, Stillwater girls, on a new state record and the win.
Stillwater continues to pile up the points in quest of another state championship.
Since I kind of butchered up the point system earlier, that does score 40 points for winning that relay. Second place gets 34, 32 for second, 32 for third, 30 for fourth, 28 for fifth, 26 for seventh, 11 or 22 for eighth.
All right, moving now towards the latter stages of these 5A state championship, brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers. Next up, the boys 200-yard freestyle relay. And here we go in the Class B heat for the 200-yard free.
Duncan in lane 1, Bethany High School in 2, Mount St. Mary in 3, Hera in 4, Piedmont 5, Shawnee in 6, Bishop McGinnis in 7th, and Oologah round out the top 8 over in lane 8. And all spread out through here, going to be Hera's going to touch first with Shawnee touching second. Hera with a 23.59, followed by Shawnee's 23.99, and Bethany down here in lane 2 with a 24.71 for third. Kind of evening back up a little bit more like we expected to. 4, 5, 6. Little space between them, but 49.52 for Hera, 50.16 for Piedmont, 50.35 for Shawnee. Mount St. Mary rounding out the top 4 with a 50.63. Hera starting to put a little distance on them, have about a 2-body lead. They hand off to the final leg. 1:13.18 for Hera, 1:14.79 for Shawnee, 1:15.28 for Mount St. Mary. Just about 1,500 behind them, though, is Piedmont. We'll have to see who wants it more as these guys come back on the home stretch. Lane 6, Shawnee making a real run for it. Looks like, though, Hera's going to hold on for the win with a 1:37.78. 1:38.39 for Shawnee in second. Piedmont bring home third place in boys B final, 1:38.72.
All right, up next, it's the A final in the boys 200-yard freestyle. Bishop Kelly, fastest time in the preliminaries at 1:31.6. but there look to be 4 or 5 schools that really have a good opportunity in this one, Max.
Several good schools here have an opportunity. Looking at the points coming into this event, Booker T holds a slight lead there at 195. Hot on her heels is Bishop Kelly with a 186. Those are our top 2 qualifiers. These 2 teams are just going to go at it real hard, wanting to stack those points. I'm not that familiar with my Star Wars character recognition, but are those Jedis I see out there?
I'm going to be in that same category with you. I think I'm one of those few individuals that's never seen one of the Star Wars movies.
Well, I've seen them. I'm just, so I'm going to call them Jedis.
Okay.
Again, I'm sure I'll be corrected if I'm wrong.
Underwater look at the facility, the pool here at the Edmond Aquatic Center, or Mitch Park. And on the deck, swimmers ready to take their mark in this boys 200-yard free relay.
Ponca City in 1, Fort Gibson in 2, Altus in 3, Bishop Kelly in 4. Bishop Kelly, top qualifier. They bookend their relay with the Callan brothers. Jack's going first. Patrick will anchor this thing. Booker T in 5, Deer Creek in 6, Stillwater in 7, Carl Albert in 8.
State record held by Altus back in 2015, 131.03. That is definitely attainable, maybe by more than just one school.
Yes, this is going to be a great race. Look for a little give and take throughout it. Well, I do believe that Bishop Kelly is going to be the favorite, obviously. They finished the first leg in 22.2. Lane 7, Stillwater 23.19. Lane 5, Booker T with a 23.58. Bishop Kelly maintains that lead. Stillwater over in lane 7 does seem to maintain second, though lane 1 down here in Ponca City did squeak in there to take second at the halfway touch with a 46.61. Serrano Meneses from Bishop Kelly's in the pool now. Brown from Booker T, Larry Crooks from Fort Gibson, and Jacob Christian, from Stillwater. Anchor legs in the pool now. Patrick Callan for Bishop Kelly, Noah James for Booker T, Aaron Hill for Stillwater. Patrick Callan, just watch that stroke. He's got his head down, making great strides. Did you do it?
You did.
129.08 against a 131.03. My simple math says that's about 2 seconds.
Yeah. That works out pretty good.
Unbelievable. We're going to be interested to see those splits when we get those splits, see what Patrick split that last 50 in.
New state record for Bishop Kelly as they swim it in 129.08.
That'll score them 6 points, 6 more points over Bishop Kelly. So that points lead is just really going to tighten up. Should be about 5 or 6 points going into these last few races.
You're watching our continuing coverage of the State Swim Championships, brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers, Max McKnight, Steve Marshall, and the entire crew, bringing you the best in high school athletics. As there's a look at the Bishop Kelly team. Got to be very happy with what they've been able to accomplish thus far this afternoon. Next event up will be the girls' 100-yard backstroke, but I think going through some of the award ceremonies. Well, there's a look at the outstanding crowd here. Filled to capacity, as it is every single year, regardless of the venue. They're able to fill it up. Well, joining us right now is Dewey Blos, who's already had a big day. Dewey, congratulations. I know you got more that you want to accomplish, but looking good so far.
Yes, thank you.
Tell us about your secrets and how you were able to get this done here today.
I'd like to give the glory to God. He pushes and pulls me through the water, and I couldn't do it without him. I also like to thank my team.
Dewey, we were talking up here on the stand a little bit ago. that you know, as an athlete, tell us what it's like. You know, the emotions here. How do you keep that in check? How do you keep focused on what you're about to do when you're standing behind the blocks?
I just try to focus and have fun and get my adrenaline going, and I know that if I trained hard enough, and it'll get me there.
Great. You've got an event coming up, right?
Yes.
You're next, if in fact I'm right?
Yes.
Backstroke?
Yep.
She's the state record holder at 57.16. Good luck in winning the championship and also setting another state record. I know you're busy, so thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Dewey Blows winning it once again. We'll take a timeout, continue our coverage from the 5A State Swim Championships here at the Edmond Aquatic Center, brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers. Stay with us.
Okay, it's Ford Truck Month, and here's how it works. You take F-150 Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, work in best-in-class towing and payload, sweeten up the offer, and boom, look who just saved a stack of cash. Step on it, sport. Drive home America's best-selling truck 41 years straight. Ford Truck Month is here. It's buy now time, people. Now during Truck Month, get up to $11,000 in total savings on the 2018 F-150. Only at your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Have you written a book and want it published, but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face and guides you through the publishing maze and helps you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We'll convert your book to digital formats for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, Google Play, and bookstores everywhere. Don't waste another minute. Page Publishing will review your work and provide feedback in about a week. Just ask this Page Publishing author.
It was very easy. The people at Page Publishing are fantastic in their guidance and in answering my questions with clarity and encouraging me all along the way.
If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and our process begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and cover art, our team ensures that your book is ready for sales and distribution to get your book in stores fast.
Call 800-515-7605.
Medical alarms for people who fall or have medical emergencies. You never think you'll need one until you do. Hi, I'm Lonnie Anderson for Advantage Alert. Today, our advanced systems locate and protect people inside and outside their homes, plus when they're on the road, allowing users with the press of a button to speak with an operator who can summon help. And even after 30 years, Advantage Alert's products remain amazingly affordable.
Call 800-927-3792.
It was pretty cool.
Welcome back to the OSSAA State Swim Championships. We're in the 5A events here this morning, 6A later to come this evening at 5 p.m. Our next event, the girls' 100-yard backstroke. This is the B final.
Have Webb from Shawnee in lane 1. Detweiler from Altus in 2, Schaap from Fort Gibson in 3, Freudenberger from Stillwater in 4, Harper from Duncan in 5, Hargis from Altus in 6, Davis, Guyman in 7, rounding out the top 8 for the B final, Peraza from Booker T, Washington.
Good look at the swimmers headed into the wall.
Freudenberger from Stillwater in lane 4 turns first with a 32.01. Right behind her, Haley Schaap from Fort Gibson, 32.7. Down here, don't want to lose sight down here in lane 1 of Isabel Webb from Shawnee with a 33.33. Make the turn. About halfway mark of the pool, coming back on the inside of Freudenberger is Schaap. She's making a run at it. Looks like she's going to run out of pool. Freudenberger going to hold on for the win with a 106.76. Schaap in second with a 107.23. Hargis from Altus rounds out the top 3 here in the B final with a 108.77.
There's a look at your final times as Freudenberger was able to improve her time by a bit. Not a great deal, but nonetheless improving her time. Senior from Stillwater adding to those points. And next up, that'll take us to the A final in the girls' 100-yard backstroke. Dewey Blows, who we just spoke to a while ago, set the record yesterday, as a matter of fact, after she had set it last year.
Steve, this is one of those times that I'm sorry I'm right, but we did have a disqualification in the women's 200-yard freestyle relay. Piedmont High School was disqualified for a false start.
So unfortunate for them.
And just as also as a quick update, Patrick Callan split a 20:56 final 50 in the final leg of that earlier relay. Those times, you know, you get a running start, so they don't really count for anything, but 20:56 is fast.
Blos and then Devin Speed from Eisenhower looked to be, from time-wise, they were a good 4 or 5 seconds faster than everybody else, and those two, again, Blos and Speed, within a half second of each other. So that'll be obviously the race to watch for the title here at the girls' 100-yard backstroke.
Yes, these two young ladies, as we've mentioned, are going to extend their swimming careers on into college. Blos going to the University of Kansas, Speed going to Southern Illinois. They've swam against each other. This is one of the races of the day. Now is not the time you want to go take a refreshment break. So stay tuned, watch these young ladies race. Good start. They both got to about the midpoint of the pool before they surfaced, which is well within the regulations. But as they head into that first wall, looks like Blos had just a bit of a lead, turned a little early, but sometimes those underwaters, you notice that Speed there in 5 had really extended her underwater. To watch it here close to our camera shot. Good underwater shot there from our camera. Blos just maintains a slim lead, 26:88 to 27:31. As they make this turn, ready for the final 25. Close race, real close race for third from among 3 or 4 swimmers. They're just to the outsides of these two young ladies. Does look like the victory is going to go to Blos. She's going to come in and touch in a 55:44. Resets that record by a significant amount again. We've seen some just really impressive records set today. Speed brings home second with a 56:58. 103.72 third for Nemechek from Carl Albert.
Well, Speed would have set the state record in that event if Blos had not bettered her time there.
Right.
So a very impressive performance there by both Devin Speed of Lawton Eisenhower and Dewey Blos from Stillwater. Next up, the boys' 100-yard backstroke, the B final coming up next. As we're getting close towards the end, there are 22 events in all, and we are now embarking upon the finals of event number 18.
Have Holland from Deer Creek in lane 1, lane 2, Cobos from Bishop Kelly, lane 3, Hammond from Fort Gibson. Top qualifier for our B final, Trent Ogden from Shawnee with a 101.18. Annis from Altus in lane 5, Sizemore from Booker T in 6, Story from Hera in 7, Tikalski from Stillwater in lane 8. Boy, real tight race here. So these guys take the first turn, actual tie for first place at the turn with a 29.18 from Ogden and Hammond. In third, Cobos in 2 with a 29.77, 29.81 for fourth. So really about 6 tenths actually separate the top 4. They make the turn. Looks like lane 3 may actually have a bit of a lead as they come make the final push for home. Looks like Hammond from Fort Gibson is going to take the win with a 59.76. Ogden from Shawnee with a 1-flat-77. Annis from Altus with a 101.33. Great race from these young men.
So Hammond, the only one to finish under a minute in the boys' 100-yard backstroke, bettered his time from yesterday. And that'll move us now to the A final of the boys' 100-yard backstroke. Deer Creek's got a couple of swimmers, as does Stillwater in this group of 8.
Steve, after our last relay event, the lead in the boys standing has shrunk to 3 points. Booker T. Washington has 229, the Bishop Kelly's 226, Stillwater in third with 164. Do see that Bishop Kelly has one in this. Booker T doesn't have anybody. Stillwater could make some ground. They have a couple. Have Sires from Stillwater in 1. Anya Sapornis from Deer Creek in 2. Kirkland from Bishop Kelly in 3. McLean from Claremore in 4. Clark from Stillwater in 5. Knotts from Deer Creek in 6. Cox from Newcastle in 7. And Altus's Shive in lane 8.
Young men are in the water. McLean had the fastest time yesterday, 54.29. You have to help me with the pronunciation from Heritage Hall. Narayan Naik, is that what I remember?
Narayan Naik.
Narayan Naik, 51.20 back in 2010.
Right, that's one of our longer records, longer held records in 5A. I think Tip Winnery still has one. We'll see that in a minute or two when we get to the men's breaststroke. But yes, Narayan was a great young swimmer from Heritage Hall. So these A swimmers come in for the first turn. Have McLean from Claremore in lane 1 with a 25, in lane 4 in first with a 25.89. Landon Clark from Stillwater with a 27.02. Right behind him with a 27.82, River Kirkland from Bishop Kelly.
Appropriate name for a swimmer. First name River, huh?
That's a good one. This is going to be McLean bring home the win from Claremore. Has a couple of body lengths on Clark from Stillwater. McLean with a 52.68. Betters Clark's 55.47 for second. River Kirkland in third with a 57.23.
So McLean swims it in 52.68. Yesterday it was 54.29, saving his best for last, as he's your champion at the 100-yard backstroke. Let's join in once again with some of the awards presentations that are going on. Turn it over to our public address announcer.
Freestyle relay. 8th place, Bishop McGinnis. Seventh place, Booker T. Washington. 6th place, Bishop Kelly. 5th place, Altus. 4th place, Carl Albert. 3rd place, Deer Creek. 2nd place, Shawnee. 1st place with a time of 1:42.42, a new state record for Stillwater High School. Now for event 16, the boys 200-yard freestyle relay. 8th place, Carl Albert. 7th place, Fort Gibson. 6th place, Ponca City. 5th place, Stillwater. 4th place, Altus. 3rd place, Deer Creek. 2nd place, Booker T. Washington. 1st place with a time of 1:29:08, a new state record for Bishop Kelly.
All right, welcome back as we conclude our awards recognition ceremony. That guy keeps popping up on my TV screen here. He must be doing something pretty good.
What a surprise to see the Callens on top of the medal stand, right?
Wow, what a performance they have turned in. A couple of state records already. Big smiles on their faces, and deservedly so. As we get ready to continue, it'll be event number 19, the girls' 100-yard breaststroke. In the championship final, the A final, Hannah Newby will be chasing her own state record. 1:03:05 is the record that Newby set just last year. And from looking at those times, Max, doesn't look like she really has a whole lot of competition. She's almost, 9 seconds better than everybody else.
Yes, she's that much faster than everybody else. And actually, Steve, she's just held that record for 24 hours.
Okay.
She set that yesterday. So, she'll be going for that.
Just when you think that you can't get much faster, as we talk about records, some records are broken every year, and then every once in a while we have a year where multiple and dozens of records are broken. How much faster can these guys go?
If we run down through the field here, we have Smith from Shawnee in 1, Hills from Bishop Kelly in 2, Robinson from Metro Christian in 3, LaValle from Carl Albert in 4, Tree from Stillwater in 5, Dyer from Muskogee in 6. I'd like to say a special hello to the parents of Judith Schimpf from Hera. Her parents are watching live from Germany. So I know we had Detroit last year. Germany, that's a little bit more of a stretch, but hi, Mom and Dad. Thanks for joining us at the 5A state swim meet. And then rounding out the top 8, Jared Johnson from Fort Gibson.
Good to know that folks are watching throughout, and if you're watching, whether you're watching on television or on our streaming site, YurView.com, remind everybody else that's a big fan of the swimming culture. As we're getting down towards the end here in the 5A state championship, 6A state championships still to come, beginning at 5 o'clock.
Pretty much a dead heat in 4 and 5 between LaValle and Tree from Carl Albert and Stillwater. Does look like Tree has stretched out to just a bit of a lead here as they come in, just passing under the flags, just a few yards to go. Is going to be Tree in 5 with the win, 1:16:61. LaValle with a 1:18:26 in second, 1:18:58 for Robinson in third. And our friend Judith Schimpf from Hera via Germany comes in sixth with a 1:20:65.
All right, so that's the B final, and that will take us next to the A final. And as we start getting more and more concerned about points and state championships, we see 4 swimmers from Booker T in this A final. Deer Creek has 1, Bishop Kelly, McGinnis, Hera.
Booker T. Washington stands obviously a good chance to stack some points here against Stillwater. Here on the girls' side, Stillwater at this point, after 18 events, has 353 points. Booker T has 231. I think they're going to run out of real estate to get that done, but they're sure going to stack some points here. Stillwater does not have anybody in this final.
Is there a limit to the number of swimmers one team can have in any one event?
You caught me off guard. I believe it's 4.
Okay. Well,
so yes, there is a limit. I believe it's 4.
Pretty impressive then that Booker T. Washington has just that. As you look at our graphic there that shows the lane assignments for the girls here in this A final, girls 100-yard breaststroke.
Have Koning in lane 1 from Deer Creek, Remy from Booker T in 2, also from Booker T, Orcutt, the aforementioned Hannah Newby. Odds-on favorite 102.03 is our top qualifier. Laney Sims from Bishop Kelly, Rachel Rising from Hera in 6, and then the final 2 from Booker T, Powell in 7, Presh in 8. As they truck down through here, no surprise, Hannah Newby off to an early lead. She comes in to touch this first wall, probably going to be right at about 30 seconds, maybe a little under. 29:10. Nearest competitor, Tori Orcutt from Booker T with a 32.66 in second. Laney Sims, Bishop Kelly in third with a 32.9. Hannah makes that final turn for home. Going to have to see if she can put a 32 with that earlier 29 to bring home the state record. She looks good. She's not choppy at all. Really reaching on the recovery part of that stroke. 101.58, another state record by 4,500, give or take. Second will go to Tori Orcutt from Booker T with a 108.98. Rounding out the top 3 with the bronze, Laney Sims from Bishop Kelly with a 109.82.
Well, quite a race there as you again look at your finals. Newby with that time of 101.58. Another state record. That's got to be at least a half dozen that we have seen so far here today. Congratulations to Hannah Newby, and she still has another year to go. So
she does have. It's going to be fun to be back next year.
That's right. That's right. It's great to see some of these guys, and you well know they win multiple championships all 4 years that they're in high school. Others peak in their junior or senior years, and really show their wear there. Right now, we're going to move to the boys 100-yard breaststroke. This is the B final coming up.
Have Annette from Deer Creek in 1, Co-9 from Deer Creek in 2, Brumley Brown from Carl Albert in 3, Dylan Carpenter, top seed for the boys in the B heat, in 4 from Hera, lane 5, Alan Brown from Booker T, also from Booker T in 6, Cole Dibbler from Hera in 7, and Gibson from Shawnee in 8. Nate Brumley Brown and Carl Alberts set out to send a little message early. He's going to touch first here at the 50, see if he can back half it and bring home the win. He touches first in a 31 flat. 31.70 in second. Brown from Booker T. Co-9 from Deer Creek in third with a 31.89. Just by my eye, looking down at the far end, the actual pool does look like Brumley Brown maintained that lead at the 75. He does seem to have stretched that lead to about a half a body length, maybe a full body length as they bring it to the final few strokes. He's going to touch first with a 107.03, 107.97 second for Brown from Booker T. Down here in lane 1, nearest the stands in our position, Peyton Annette from Deer Creek snuck in to take third in this B final with a 108.36.
So Brumley Brown improves his time. Not quite a full second better than what he did yesterday in the preliminaries. Coming up next, it's the A final of the boys 100-yard breaststroke. As I look for multiple entries from any one school, we see 2 from Stillwater, and that looks like the only one that has multiple entries right there. So Stillwater, again, with an opportunity to just pile on more points after another.
Stillwater's going to look to stack some points here. We did have Booker T with 2 in that B final. They've got 1 here in the A final. They're going to be making that run. And Bishop Kelly, who didn't have any swimmers in this final. Not going to want to miss that boys 400 free relay final. That's probably going to be for all the marbles. Setting the field for the A final here in the men's 100-yard breaststroke. Ella Moody from Guyman in 1. White from Deer Creek in 2. Tidland from Stillwater in 3. Hill from Stillwater in 4. Carter from Fort Gibson in 5. Meyer from Ponca City in 6. Hill from Oklahoma Christian School in 7. And James from Booker T in lane 8.
All set to go. And the swimmers are in the pool.
Don't know if the people at home can hear it. The swimmers start off a horn. And I think what the starter heard there, I heard it too. Right before the start, there was something happen in the stands that kind of distracted him. The sign of a good starter is he kind of puts himself in the race. He heard that, relaxed the swimmers, kind of gave them a second. If they heard that, makes them a little jumpy. Just wanted to ensure a fair start for the field. Aaron Hill touches first from Stillwater at the 50 with a 28.86. Sam Carter from Fort Gibson with a 29.01. 29.30 for Jackson Tidland from Stillwater. Stillwater holding down 2 of the top 3 spots. Swimmers turn, make the final push for home. Maybe tightening up a little bit here. Does look like Hill just maintains a slight lead. Going to come down to who can get their head down, make that final push. Is going to be Hill in first with a 101.92. Sam Carter from Fort Gibson with a 102.16. Connor Hill from OCS with a 103.88 over in lane 7. Surprises some people, brings it home third.
Aaron Hill swims the exact same time that he did yesterday, and Carter swam almost identical in his race there. So the 100-yard breaststroke goes to the boys and Aaron Hill of Stillwater. Got the backstroke awards. That is coming up next, and then we will get ready for the final 2 events of the 5A State Swim Championship, brought to you by your Oklahoma 4 dealers. And a reminder, once again, coming up at 5 p.m., we will have the beginning of the 6A Boys and Girls State Swim Championships. I want to remind everybody that the 6A State Swim Championships, again, coming up today at 5 p.m., Cox Channel 1333. And you can see that, again, online as well, YurView.com. That's YurView.com. That's where the youngsters' parents were watching from Germany today. So you don't want to miss all of the action. Again, that'll be coming up at 5. So we've got awards going on right now. We'll step aside to allow that, and then our final 2 events of the day coming up.
Fourth, Carl Bridge Creek. Third, Nemechek Carl Albert. Second place, Speed Eisenhower. First place with a time of 55:44 from Stillwater High School, a new state record for Dewey Blouse. Now for event 18, the boys 100-yard backstroke. Eighth place, Shive, Altus. 7th, Cox, Newcastle. 6th, Sires, Stillwater. 5th, Knott's, Dew Creek. 4th, Onosoro Pouch, Deer Creek. 3rd, Kirkland, Bishop Kelly. 2nd, Clark, Stillwater. 1st place with a time of 52:68 from Claremore High School, Dylan McLean.
All right, there's a look at a proud zebra. One of our winners from today, claiming a state championship, and things have tightened up. When we get a score update, we will let you know exactly where everybody sits with just 2 events remaining. We've got the girls 400-yard free and the boys 400-yard free coming up as the final 2 events of the day.
Noticed a proud pioneer there too in his coonskin cap.
That's right.
I think we've seen him a time or 2 today.
The updates on the scoring.
Girls teams here as we head into this final event. Stillwater Pioneers with a big lead, 362 to Booker T's 285. Just not enough points there to be overtaken. Stillwater's going to be your girls champ today. On the boys side, it's a bit closer, 8 points. It's going to be anybody's race there.
Booker T. Washington 255, Bishop Kelly 247, Stillwater 230.
Run down through the lineup here for the girls B. Duncan in lane 1, Southwest Covenant in 2, Shawnee in 3, Fort Gibson in 4, MacArthur in 5, Eisenhower in 6, Guyman in 7, and Bethany rounds out the field over in lane 8. His 400-yard freestyle, each swimmer will swim 4 lengths of the pool, 100 yards. Just as we've mentioned throughout the day, the relay exchanges and different things the judges are looking for. This also is one of those events that can change over the course of it. It's long enough, and it's the end of the day. A lot of these swimmers, probably all of them, have already swam 3 events. Kind of boils down to who wants it the most. So the first leg here turns at the 75. Looked like from here that MacArthur is off to an early lead, but right behind him is Fort Gibson. Sneaking up on me down here in lane 2. May actually going to touch first. Southwest Covenant, yes indeed they do. 102.78. 103.15 was MacArthur in second, and a 104 flat in third for Fort Gibson as the second swimmers take to the water. Have Morris for Duncan, Warner for Southwest, Hadley for Shawnee, Allen for Fort Gibson, Carter for MacArthur, Ontivaros from Eisenhower, Hernandez for Guyman, Williams Gilby for Bethany, as these young ladies make the turn here at their first 50.
This is the B final in the girls 400-yard freestyle relay. Of course, then we'll have the A finals for the girls, and then move over to the boys, the B final and the A final yet to come. And as I look there, Stillwater, Bishop Kelly, and Booker T. Washington on the boys' side, they are all ranked right there, 1, 2, and 3 in that final race. So it's going to come right down to that, as you mentioned earlier.
Yes. I don't know if people at home saw it as we watched on the turn end. We had the underwater camera. Swimmer, actually went pretty deep on the turn. What a lot of people don't realize, took me a while to figure it out, that ripples don't just go out, they also go down. So a lot of times on the turn, if you think the swimmer went, wow, they went deep, a lot of times they're trying to get under their own turbulence.
Gotcha.
So that's probably what you saw there, that swimmer was trying to do. Third swimmers are in the water now, making the turn on their first 50. Fort Gibson has snuck back up here, and they've taken the lead from their first qualifying position. Field gets a little stretched out in this. Have the anchor leg swimmers stepping up on the blocks now, getting ready, trying to bring this B final win home to their team. Fort Gibson 3:09.72, first in the water with their final swimmer. Really has put a lot of distance on the second place team of Shawnee in lane 3, who has a 3:17.92. Touching third, MacArthur 3:25.29. We'll just have to see what kind of gas these final swimmers have left in the tank, if anybody can make a run at Fort Gibson there in lane 4. Fort Gibson touches first there on the turn with a 3:39.44. MacArthur with a Shawnee with a 3:48.10. So Fort Gibson does have this well in hand. She's going to make the turn here on her final turn, bring home this win. Watch back further down through the field. Could be a tight race for fifth, it looks like. Bringing home the win is Fort Gibson here in the B final, 4:12.75. Shawnee brings home second with a 4:21.07. MacArthur going to bring home third, 4:29.53. Southwest Covenant 4:33.98, 4:35.79 for Eisenhower.
Final swimmer bringing it home in the girls B final 400-yard freestyle relay. Here's a look at your times and the schools. Well, as we look ahead to the A final, Stillwater girls yesterday swam their prelim in 3:43.21. That's a new state record that they broke their own record from last year.
Right. Knowing Coach Goebel, he's got them fired up and ready to go. They're probably going to try to reset their record again today, make it harder for themselves next year. Lots of happy faces as they parade in these finalists. That's Dewey again.
Now, after the state championships are over, obviously some people are still swimming club and other people are swimming other events. What's the typical swimmer? I mean, obviously a lot of these guys are done after their high school careers, but not all of them.
I believe next weekend on the club side of things is the Oklahoma Age Group Championships. If my memory serves me well, it's I think 2 weeks after that is sectionals, big meet in Columbia, Missouri. Then they kind of throttle back a little bit, getting ready for long course season. Some of them may take a little bit of a break before that. Set our field for the A final here in the women's 400-yard freestyle relay. Hera in lane 1, Bishop Kelly in lane 2, Altus in lane 3, Stillwater in 4, Booker T in 5, Carl Albert in 6, Deer Creek in 7, Bishop McGinnis in 8.
Stillwater and Booker T, the only schools to swim under 4 minutes yesterday. Stillwater 3:43.21 and Booker T Washington at 3:54.31.
Yeah, I look for Stillwater really to run away with this, bring home their 4th consecutive state championship. Point lead at this point is, you know, even if something did happen, there's just not enough points for anybody to sneak in here and take it away from them. Dewey blows out fast with a 24.94 in the first 50. 27.30 for Booker T Washington in third over in lane 7. Deer Creek with a 28.63. Have Mullendorf from Hera, Henry from Bishop Kelly, Hurst from Altus, Bloss from Stillwater, Martin from Booker T, Woodruff from Carl Albert, Anthony from Deer Creek, and Borders from Bishop McGinnis. Going in the water, second leg. Hodges for Hera, Poise Duran from Bishop Kelly, Moore from Altus, Barth, name we've heard before today, from Stillwater, Orcutt from Booker T, LaValle from Carl Albert, Vander Cooey from Deer Creek, Sarah Lau from Bishop McGinnis. Never really want to say anybody's got it on cruise, but Savannah Barth looks good, looks smooth. Sure, Stillwater's swimming to be safe. They want to reset that record, but they want to swim a safe relay. Good looking stroke. Booker T holding on to second with a 1:26.38 at the 150 turn. Altus with a 1:30.67 holding down third. We get ready for the third swimmer to take the water. Going to put Hooper in the water for Stillwater, their third leg. Stell from Harrow will go. Sims from Bishop Kelly, Detweiler, Altus, Orcutt, Booker T, Shaw, Carl Albert, Davis, Deer Creek, Carter, Bishop McGinnis. Hooper got a good stroke going there again. Good, smooth. Just wanting to be smooth, steady. We want to have a safe handoff to that anchor leg swimming. Sadie Freudenberger going to go anchor leg. The good friends, the Freudenbergers. Saw them up in the stands earlier. There goes Sadie. Good safe start, it looked like, from here. Going to be Rising from Hera, Mink from Bishop Kelly, Latta from Booker T, Nemechek from Carl Albert, Brown from Deer Creek. Hannah Newby, whose name we've heard all day, she'll be fun to watch on that final leg for Bishop McGinnis. Stillwater turns first with a 3:08.57. Just as a reminder, 3:43.21 is the state record. Looks like could be within reach. We'll see where we stand. 3:27 now, part way back. Ought to be all over this. .38.32. 5 seconds, if my math's right on that. It's just astounding to break a record like that.
Very impressive for Stillwater, who takes first. Booker T. Washington second. Yeah, they are all over it. Another new state record. So the Stillwater girls take it, and that'll move us now to the boys 400-yard freestyle. This is the B final. Ponca City, Shawnee, Fort Gibson, Hera, Bethany, and Duncan to be swimming in this B final.
Sorry for that. Gasped a little bit. I don't know if you can see it at home, but the back of these blocks have, some people call them a shark fin, you know, block extender. One of the swimmers that wasn't locked in when he went to start, he kind of slipped and hit a lot of racket. Hope he's okay. Hope he ends up with a good swim. Have Chekarov in the pool for Ponca City, Morris for Shawnee, Hayes for Fort Gibson, David for Hera, Sandvik for Bethany, and Standifer for Duncan. That'll be disheartening. That probably upset the whole swim. Switching off to the second swimmer. Fort Gibson in the lead here in the B final with the 53.69, 54.44 for Shawnee, 56.89 in third for Bethany. Second swimmers we have in the water here is Lorette from Ponca, Pennington for Shawnee, Landers Fort Gibson, Iwaniuk from Hara, Lawrence from Bethany, Pollock from Duncan. All the swimmers are getting a good double check on that block now. Third swimmers are all on the block. We make the transition to their leg of the relay is going to be Fort Gibson in first with a 150.62, Hara with a 153.68, and Bethany with a 154.87. Third swimmers, Lynn from Ponca City, Ortiz from Shawnee, Rollins from Fort Gibson, Story from Hara, Cooksey from Bethany, Sullivan from Duncan. .28.08 split for Fort Gibson. Hang on to that lead with a 2:18.70. Field getting a little spread out. Harrow's maintained their second place position. Shawnee as well their third. Harrow making a little bit of a run in the back half of this leg of the 100. Looks to be going to be a dead heat as their anchor leg swimmer takes to the water. Hara did just edge them out, 2:48.53 for Hara to Fort Gibson's 2:48.68. Not far behind Shawnee with a 2:53.67. These guys are going at it stroke for stroke here in the B final. Hara does have just a slight lead, maybe just a hand. I said that, and just, well, we've had some kind of malfunction. That's not quite accurate on the scoreboard. As these guys make the turn for home on their final leg. Must have had a second touch or something on that last leg. These guys are going at it hard. Does look like Fort Gibson has creeped just back into a slight lead. It is Fort Gibson with a 3:41.78 to Hara's 3:41.99. Bringing home third will be Shawnee with a 3:52.26.
So Fort Gibson winning the Heat 1 or the B final, bettering their time by almost 5 seconds from yesterday, finishing again 3:41.78. That will take us to our final event of the day, the boys 400-yard freestyle relay, with a lot on the line, or
championships on the line.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a good race. Top three teams, Bishop Kelly, Booker T, and Stillwater, just side by side by side. You know, Stillwater may be a little far back to make a run at first, but depending on how it all falls out, sure could get second, depending on how the whole thing goes. Had a little bit of a timing board issue. If a swimmer lingers in the water a little too long on an exchange after they've exchanged, the pad will reset. And so when they go to step out, they'll fire that pad, and that'll give us a faulty placing on the board that I read from. So apologize for that. We got the final result right. Just had some discrepancy there on that last swim. Talked a little about the middle of the pool. Let's run down through the whole lineup. Have Carl Albert in line 1, lane 1. Hope you can hear at home the excitement here of the crowd. Crowd's already getting into it. Lane 2, Bishop McGinnis. Stillwater 3, Bishop Kelly. Again, bookending the Callan boys. Jack will go first. Patrick will go last. Booker T in 5. Deer Creek in 6. Altus in 7. Mount St. Mary in 8.
All right, final race of the day. In Class 5A, again, reminder, Class 6A state championships come your way at 5 p.m.
just fun to kind of listen to the crowd a little bit, hear what they've got going on. Crowds are really into this. They know we've been talking about the standings. So is the PA announcer. Looks like Jack Callan, the first 50, going to have a comfortable lead for Bishop Kelly. 23:05, good first 50 for him. Second was Stillwater, third Booker T. Jack's going to bring in the lead at the first exchange, 47.95. Second, Stillwater with a 49.51. Booker T with a 50.60. Harmon for Carl Albert, husbands for Bishop Matt, Clark for Stillwater, Hunt for Bishop Kelly, James for Booker T, Annette for Deer Creek, Annis for Altus, Bond for Mount St. Mary. Race really tightened up here. Bishop Kelly with the lead, 1:12.39. Stillwater just 6/10 behind with a 1:12.96. Booker T about 3 behind with a 1:15.31. Third swimmer's up on the blocks. Crowd really getting into it. Going crazy in here at the Mitch Park Y pool. Stillwater take the lead here at the exchange for the third swimmer, 1:39.35 to Bishop Kelly's 1:39.99. Third swimmers in, we got Hinchy for Carl Albert, Kirk for Bishop Kelly, Christian for Stillwater, Wong for Bishop Kelly, Holtscher for Booker T, Holland for Deer Creek, Hart for Altus, Fry for Mount St. Mary. Bishop Kelly creep back into the lead here, 2:4.10, 2:04.46 for Stillwater, 2:05.75. Feel like I'm shouting at the crowd a little bit, Steve, as loud as it is in here.
Yeah, it is.
I can't hardly hear myself talk. So really tight race here. Don't forget we got Patrick Callan coming up, anchor leg. We're going to see what he can do when he hits the water. They're going to bust this state record. Patrick Callan hits the water first, 2:30.97. Stillwater 2:32.16, 2:32.75 for Booker T. Assuming he doesn't drown or there was no disqualifications, I think we can go ahead and give this to Bishop Kelly. Just will they bust that state record that they set last year?
Record's 3:19.55 and Kelly well within reach.
Yes, here he comes, making that final turn. I don't look for him to take a breath this whole way back on this. Hope snuck one in there, made a liar out of me. He's got his head down, he's churning hard. Oh, busted that a lot. 3:15.62, new state record for Bishop Kelly. 4 seconds, almost unheard of. In second, Booker T, 3:21.88. Third for Stillwater, 3:24.77.
Final swimmers bringing it home. Another new state record for Bishop Kelly, 3:15.62. Almost 6 seconds better than the old record. That's a big.
That's just amazing. I mean,
that's shattering records.
That's shattering. You measure in tenths of seconds, not full seconds.
And will that be enough? My friend, the math major next to me.
We've established math is not necessarily my strong suit. If my chicken scratch is right, I think Booker T. Washington won this by 2 points.
Wow.
We
will come back and get the official scoring and have some state champions for us to crown. We're going to take a timeout on your Oklahoma Ford Dealers Game of the Week. Stay with us.
Show me HBO.
There's a place where heroes and villains live together, and children grow smarter, stronger, and kinder. Where everyone's family. Comedy is king.
You hear that? That's funny, right? Yeah.
And winter rages all summer long. Welcome to the Cox neighborhood, where HBO is just $10 more per month.
It's the one and only Ford Truck Month. the place to find one-of-a-kind deals on Ford F-Series, including Motor Trend's Truck of the Year F-150. With best-in-class towing and torque, these bad boys make the rules and break them. That's why it's America's best-selling truck 41 years straight. But like ribs at a barbecue, these deals won't last long. Ford Truck Month. It's buy now time, partner. Now during Truck Month, get up to $11,000 in total savings on the 2018 F-150. Only at your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
I'm addicted to meth.
I'm addicted to heroin.
Crack is ruining my life.
Every day, over 150 Americans die from drug or alcohol abuse. Addiction is a disease that has become a national epidemic. If you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, you need to call the R360 network now. R360 treatment centers are selected from the very best in the nation. You can't beat addiction on your own. Get the help you need. Call now.
I'm Ken Seeley, author, addiction recovery specialist, and former addict. R360 is a nationwide network of addiction recovery specialists that I personally selected and recommend. You need to call the number on the screen now.
The call is free, the consultation is free. If you have private insurance, your treatment could be covered with no out-of-pocket cost. Make the call now.
Call 800-946-1316. That's 800-946-1316.
Event 21, the girls' 400-yard freestyle relay. No, excuse me. We're going to do event 20, the boys' 100-yard breaststroke. Eighth place, James Booker T. Washington. 7th, Lamudi Gaiman. 6th, Mayor Ponca City. 5th, White Deer Creek. 4th, Tidland Stillwater. 3rd, Hill Oklahoma Christian. 2nd, Carter, Fort Gibson. 1st place with a time of 1:01.92 from Stillwater, Aaron Hill. And now for event 21, the girls' 400-yard freestyle relay. 8th place, Deer Creek. 7th place, Hera. 6th place, Bishop McGinnis. 5th place, Bishop Kelly. 4th place, Carl Albert. 3rd place, Altus. 2nd place, Booker T. Washington. 1st place with a time of 3:38.32, a new state record for Stillwater High School. And now event 22, the boys 400-yard freestyle relay. 8th place, Deer Creek. 7th place, Altus. 6th place, Bishop McGuinness. 5th place, Mount St. Mary. 4th place, Carl Albert. 3rd place, Stillwater. 2nd place, Booker T. Washington. 1st place with a time of 3:15.62, a new state record for Bishop Kelly.
All right, so there you have it, the awards presentation. Max has been feverishly working on the numbers. Tell us what we got as far as champions are concerned.
Hey, shout out to my 3rd grade math teacher, Miss Graham, for teaching me how to do math. The Stillwater Pioneers win this thing on the girls' side with 402 points, right behind Booker T. Washington with 319, and rounding out the top 3, Carl Albert with 162. Coach, you know, we've talked kind of on and off throughout the year. You know, it's been kind of the talk, you know, that Stillwater was the team to beat throughout the year. How do you keep your team focused? How do you keep them ready, not letting it go to their heads, and get them ready to show up here and swim their races?
Well, these girls are just very competitive. They've swam with each other for some of them up to 10 years, and they're friends. They like to go and swim and improve themselves. They're not necessarily out to beat anybody, but to actually improve themselves and win as a team. You know, that's one of the nice things is these girls have really come together as a team, and as you could see, you know, all our girls were dropping time, and it's a team effort. They train together, they like each other, and they've had a really good experience this weekend.
It's great talking with Kurt Goebel, the coach for the Stillwater Pioneers, winning their 4th consecutive state championship in the girls division. What's the outlook for number 5, Kurt?
Well, you know, the cabinets aren't empty. We've got girls coming in next year, and we, of course, you saw those 2 freshman girls go 1 and 3 in the 50 free and 100 free. So there's a ton of talent there. That, you know, it's a good group of kids. I have a good group of kids coming in this next year, so I'm excited about it, and I think things will go really well for them.
Coach, I know, you know, you're in a business not only just, you know, training athletes, but I know you're trying to raise good people.
Yeah.
And you've got some great swimmers and great young people on your team. What's it like? You know, you see some of these all-time greats come through. Dewey Bloss.
Yeah.
You know, tell us what it's like to coach a young lady like that.
Well, you know, she's you saw the times. Holy cow, they're wonderful times. You know, I have great parent support. The parents, you know, support me. You know, a lot of times when you have issues with coaches in high schools, you know, there's bad mouthing or whatever, and then the kids get it and it resonates. But that doesn't happen in Stillwater in our swim program. Our parents are very supportive of me. They're very supportive of the kids, and they understand the big picture. And Dewey's, you know, a product of that. I mean, she's just right down fast. Amazingly fast. You just kind of sit back and watch it. It's like, you know, she kicked out a low 52 in her 100 freestyle on the lead off on that 4x1, so she wasn't done. I mean, normally by the time the 4x1 comes around, they're ready to shut it down and you know, take it easy. But, you know, they're out there going after the school record and the state record, so it was wonderful. It was very, very wonderful to watch.
Hey, Coach, sorry to put you on the spot like this. I should have given you a little heads up, but you mentioned to me a while back that you thought Stillwater's first women's state title was 20 years ago. Do you know if that's right or not?
Well, it wasn't in swimming. They had one in 1926 in basketball, and then they had one in let's see, it was girls tennis in the 80s, and then the first girls swim team championship was in 1998.
That's awesome.
I guess they just announced it, so yeah. No, it was 20 years, and it was a great, I was there then, and we had a great bunch of swimmers then, and actually the caps they wore tonight were the exact same caps that we wore back in 1998 with the wagon on it.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, Coach, congratulations. Go enjoy the ceremony with your team.
All right, thanks. We'll see him.
Kurt Goebel from Stillwater as his girls claim their 4th consecutive state championship in 5A. There's a look at your total team points. Stillwater, as you see, winning it. And really what was close at one time, Max, they kind of stretched it out and lapped the field there. Booker T. Washington finishes second with 319. Then Carl Albert, Shawnee, Altus, Deer Creek, Bishop Kelly, and Metro Christian.
Just excited, you know, whether somebody's stretching that lead as a team, you've always got those individual races that are just fun to watch, some of them going head to head. You know, you keep track of the team scores, but the real races are happening there in the pool.
All right, and then up next we have our other coach to talk with here, and that is Adina Milner. I hope I got that right, from Booker T. Washington.
Yes.
Congratulations. Got to be a special day for you, too.
It's a very special day. I can't even express how happy I am and how proud I am of my team. And we knew it was going to be a nail biter, and my kids pulled through, and I'm so excited.
Adina, we talked earlier in the day and again yesterday. You know, there's a lot of excitement here. You've been building for this all year. You've been talk from people all year. How do you keep them focused? How do you coach them, train them, tell them, you know, you got to show up and do it today? How do you do that as a coach?
This year we've really started to focus not just on training in the water, but also motivational videos and mobility, stretching, and just really believing in themselves. And just I wanted them to realize that it's not just about, you know, your physical ability, but your whole mental, body, and team spirit ability that's what's going to get you to the top.
That's awesome.
Was there any one event that really you feel that put you guys over the top and enabled you guys to take home this championship?
I think I'm going to say this year every event counted for them, and they knew that, and they really went in there and they performed.
I just have one last quick question before we let you go celebrate with your team. That's not the outfit I expected you to have on when you go for the swim.
I do have the ball gown on underneath my shirt.
We're looking forward to seeing that. Go celebrate with your team, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Adina Milner from Booker T. Washington. They only won it by 2 points, and Stillwater wasn't too far behind either.
Stillwater was right there. One of those teams have a DQ or a false start, could jumble the whole standings.
All right, so a great day of swimming is only halfway over. Of course, we've got more coming your way here later this afternoon, and that will be at 5 o'clock when we'll take a view of the 6A state championship, boys and girls, so you don't want to miss that. So great day of swimming, Max, and we'll take a timeout. We'll come back and wrap up our 5A swimming and continue to set the stage for 6A coming up later this afternoon. It's all brought to you, of course, by your Oklahoma Ford dealers.
It's Ford Truck Month at your Oklahoma Ford dealers, our biggest sales event of the year. Now's the time to save on our full line of Ford trucks and Ford SUVs, America's most trusted brand. Save big on Escape, Edge, and Explorer, and the redesigned Expedition. A huge selection, the best offers. Now, current Ford owners get 0 for 60 plus $1,500 cash on Explorer when financed through Ford Credit. Hurry into your Oklahoma Ford dealer today.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free. and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-527-9546. That's 1-800-527-9546.
Welcome back once again. There she goes.
One. That's Booker T. Washington head coach Adina Milner going in the pool in her ball gown. Belle of the ball, I guess, Steve.
I think she was very confident in her swimmers swimming, but not her swimmers throwing her into the pool there, but always a fun sight to see, as she is the coach of your 5A boys state championship. Booker T. Washington narrowly winning it here today by just 2 points over, was it Stillwater or Bishop Kelly that finished second. So congratulations to her. Also congratulations to the Stillwater girls on their state championship. But again, we're only halfway through. We've got the boys and girls 6A state championships coming back your way, and that will be at 5 o'clock. Any final thoughts of the 5A?
You know, it's just always a great meet. We were talking kind of during break that, you know, you watch the points throughout, but it's just so much fun to watch the individual events. See that young man that finished, you know, dead last actually, but dropped 7 seconds. So that's the excitement I look forward to, and to get to see people go in the pool in a ball gown. Just a great fun day all around.
You don't get to see that too often in February, no question about that. Hey, a reminder once again to join us at 5 p.m. That'll be the 6A Boys and Girls State Championships live here again from Mitch Park in Edmond, Oklahoma. For my partner, Max McKnight, I'm Steve Marshall. The rest of the crew, we'll see you again 5 p.m. this evening for the 6A State Championships brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealer. So long for a while.